To the team news now. Let's start with our visitors from Gambia Green Lane. And the Sutton United team as follows. In goal number 1, Jack Sims. 4, and captain Tyler French. 8 is Lewis Simpler. Number 9, Will Davis. Number 14, Finley Barnbrook. 15, Hayden Muller. 18, Charlie Wallen. 20, Jack Wallen. 2, Ryan Jackson. 24, Ashley Leatherman. And 33.
Hello everybody, and a big and warm welcome to our coverage today of Barnet against Sutton United on Boxing Day. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas, stroke festive period, stroke whatever you celebrate. I hope you had an absolutely lovely time with your families, friends, and ate more than you could handle. Hopefully you didn't drink too much. I certainly didn't. I was a very sensible boy. And I hope you were too, Brian.
Yeah, I was, absolutely was. Merry Christmas to all of you listeners who've just joined in. Hope you had a wonderful festive period. I'm looking forward to this game, mate.
Yeah, so as always, of course, I'll be your commentator shortly, Rory Edwards, and with me is Brian Matovu to make sense of it all. Now, as is traditional, let's start with the last game that we were here for, which was, of course, Barnet against Halifax Town, and that ended in a draw. There was a bit of expectation on Barnet to win the game, but we were at pains to say that Halifax were a tough nut to crack, and it proved to be the case, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Halifax Town, we were saying before the game that one of the best defences in the league, always a tough side to break down, and last week proved it, a difficult performance, going 1 goal down, which was a surprise to many because Barnet don't usually go 1 goal down, particularly at home, but they fought back, got the equaliser, potentially should have been ahead. Mark Shelton coming really, really close to putting Barnet in front, but after that, it was really chalk and cheese between the chances, very, very few, very little created. And to be fair to Halifax, they were very well earned their point and they played very well. But Barnet got to move forward and hopefully get 3 points again today.
See, I was slightly mullered by Halifax fans, a couple of Halifax fans last week, for saying that Halifax stole a point from the Hive. Now, I'm going to retract that comment because they definitely didn't steal a point. I certainly misspoke there. They were absolutely good value for the point, and Barnet on the day just didn't do quite enough. I think what we were saying last week is that they had chances to have chances as opposed to having any clear-cut chances. Even the Shelton goal, I mean, that was, as you say, just a complete mess, really.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the way Shelton hit it, it looked like he slipped over and the keeper just misjudged his footing and the goal went in. And really, like you said, until the chance afterwards, a few minutes later, Barnet really struggled to create any sort of opportunities. And Halifax, they just defended really well. But that's what Halifax do. That's what they're known for. So Barnet will be disappointed given that they're highest scorers in the league. They expect to score goals. But I think the main thing is that they just couldn't create any of the chances. That's down to Halifax. Obviously down to poor execution from Barnet. So just today, they're going to have to look to make sure they create the right chances, but also take them when they get them.
It does mean, of course, that Barnet missed the opportunity to go top of the league over Christmas, which would have been a nice present. It would have been a nice psychological boost, but it certainly isn't the end of the world, all things considered. A point against Halifax, as we said, they picked up a point against Forest Green. They're no slouches, so respect the point and move on. Yeah,
respect the point and move on, and like we said, you can't win every game, and if you don't win the game, don't be sure to lose it. And the home record continues, still unbeaten at home. 11 wins out of 13 is, or 10 out of 12, whichever one it is, still very strong. So Barnet can look at the positives of that result.
Yeah, and just before we finish on Halifax, I think there were 1 or 2 things that didn't quite work there. I mean, he did put Danny Collins at right wing back, which kind of worked really well against Ebbsfleet. It didn't work so well last time, and Danny Collins would be the first to admit that he didn't have his best game. But it looks like he's going to be back at right wing back today. So clearly Dean Brennan believes that is a good position for him. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, before that game, Collins had played really well. Ebbsfleet game, he got 2 assists. Before that, he scored the winner at Yeovil Town. So Collins is always a threat going forward. I thought last week he just couldn't get in the positions that he usually does. Maybe that's a Halifax adjustment, and he looked at that and said, listen, take Collins out of the game, because most of the opportunities were coming from the left-hand side between Glover and Kennett. They seemed to be really on song. Collins kind of struggled. So I think taking him out of the side might have been a bit harsh, but now's the opportunity for Collins to just, show what he's made of, show how good he is going forward, and hopefully he can make wonders today.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, clearly Dean Brennan thought that having the quality of Danny Collins on the pitch was better than not having the quality of Danny Collins on the pitch. Ultimately, he looked at his bench and he thought, I just don't think any replacement is going to make us better here. But he did ultimately slot back into the back three, and Idris Kanu came over to right wing back. But again, that wasn't a particularly effective substitution. Yeah. And when we look at the likes of York City, who managed to get past Southend that day, and their subs were scoring, Dipo Akinyemi, they were able to look at the bench and say, let's bring on this so and so, and they got the job done. Yeah. Barnet were looking at the bench and going, we haven't really got any game changers on there. Are you going to bring Billy Clifford on? Is he better than Mark Shelton? Is he better than Anthony Hartigan? No, he isn't really. So, the bench can change the game, and it just wasn't able to do that. Yeah, just wasn't able to do that. I thought maybe he could have kept Glover on and played Carney on the right wing back, because Carney did come out playing on the left-hand side. But like you said, Callum Stead did come off the bench quite early on in the second half, actually. I think it might be at half-time for Reece Brown, and he just couldn't get into the game, and he is a game changer. He scored a fair few goals this season, but looking at anyone else, Chapman is still out, to be fair. Yeah. But I just feel like it was one of those days where anyone could have been brought on. Halifax was just so resolute, so strong at the back, that it was difficult for anyone to break them down, really. So I wouldn't discredit the bench too much. I still think they've got a very strong bench. Barnet just it didn't work out last week, and that happens in football. No, indeed it does. Now, the big team news today for the Bees is that Nicky Kabamba has been dropped. He is on the bench, and it looks like Callum Stead will be playing instead. Now, obviously, Nicky Kabamba was injured for quite a significant period of the early season. He didn't play. Stead slotted in, and the Bees weren't really struggling for goals, but they didn't have quite the same outlet. But Nicky Kabamba has been dropped, and that's significant, especially if he's not injured, or maybe Dean Brennan thinks he needs a rest. But in truth, has he reached the heights that we know Nicky Kabamba can reach? I mean, on numbers-wise, you'd say he has. 10 goals in 16 games. That's a solid return for any striker in this division. But I think when we look at his overall performance, he's kind of struggled to stay in games. He's a bit more of a moments play. He kind of goes, not such missing, but he can go through games with not having touching the ball around for like 5-10 minutes. And I think Dean Brennan wants more from Kabamba. His link-up plays, hold-up play, needs more of that. Because in the box, he's a finisher, he's a striker, he'll take his chances. But the all-round game, what else does he bring to the table? I think that's what's missing. Also, Callum Stead, he's someone who'll run the channels, he'll run in behind, he'll leave it all on the pitch. And sometimes Nicky Kabamba doesn't do that. So I feel like Dean Brennan is seeing it as Kabamba didn't really do much again last week. But I think this game, a chance for Callum Stead to, show why he should be the main starting striker. And like you said, if it's going wrong, what a player to bring off the bench in Nicky Kabamba. Yeah, that's not what you want to see coming at you. Certainly if Nicky is fresh. Let's take a little look at Sutton now. They are the definition, I think, of inconsistent. I think we're quite agreed on that. They lost last time out to Tamworth, who Barnet dispatched 7-0 in a famous win here at the Hive this season. They lost at home to Tamworth. They lost to Altrincham away, drew 0-0 with Halifax, beat Fylde at home, beat Solihull at home. So anything could happen, really. I mean, Steve Morrison's side are just not predictable, are they? Not at all. I mean, like you said, from the results. And if I was looking at results previously, Sutton will go on a 3-game winning run, lose the next 3, draw 2, draw the next 2, lose 1. So they're very inconsistent. But, they've been a fairly threat this season. They've beaten Altrincham 5-0 earlier on. They have drawn with, I think, York City. They've drawn with them. So they are a side that can ruin your day on any given day. But they are an inconsistent side. I've seen they've got 1 goal in the last 3 games. They don't really score many goals. But they also don't concede many. They're just a general middle-of-the-park team, an average team in the National League. And these are the sides you're going to face the majority of the season. So they can cause an upset. But, for Barnet, they'll be looking at this game thinking, this is a game that we should win. We're at home. They're 13th place or at 12th place, 11 places below us. So it'll be an interesting game. But Sutton, like I said, average team. But they are fighting for a playoff spot, only 3 points behind the playoff position. I was going to say, it's quite congested in the middle there. Yeah. So you've got Sutton United, who are on 32 points after 23 games. And Solihull Moors, who occupy the 7th spot in the playoffs, are on 35. Yeah. So that is 3 points difference. You've got Halifax in the mix. You've got Altrincham, Yeovil, Hartlepool, Eastleigh, Sutton, and even Tamworth kind of creeping up the table. Yeah. They've got a game in hand over a few of those playoff sides. So it's really congested in the middle. Yeah. If we look at the other end, of course, we look at the top of the league. Are we? I mean, it is quite early still. Dean Brennan said the other day that the season hasn't even got going. Let's see where we are at Easter. But is it too early to say that this is a 3 or 4 horse race between York, Barnet, Forest Green, Gateshead and Oldham? A 5 horse race, is it? Or is is a Gateshead part of the mix?
I think you have to include them, given the Gateshead's form. They've been in really good form recently, winning 3 out of their last 5 games. And they're in and around it. They're only 2 points off Forest Green, 4 points off Barnet, which means any slip up means that they can potentially catch up to that. So I'd say those 5 teams, that's where the title's going to be won. I think Rochdale are just a bit too far behind on 36, but Oldham have 2 games in hand, and if Oldham win both of those games in hand, they go above Barnet in second place. So I think we have to be wary of Oldham for sure, and Gateshead, because like we say, games come thick and fast. It just takes 2 games and Oldham could be in second. It takes 2 games and Barnet could be 5th place. So definitely got to be wary of those teams for sure.
Yeah. We know all too well though that Barnet are virtually unstoppable at home. They haven't lost. They've won 10, drawn twice. Of course, that was last time out against Halifax. The teams are now entering the hallowed halls of the Hive, and I will take you through the Barnet squad that will be facing the U's today. Of course, we've got Nick Hayes in goal. We have got Ben Coker, who has slotted in today. We've got Danny Collins, who retains his place at right wing back in that sort of slight experiment that Dean Brennan is conducting. The back 3 is Miles Kenlock, Tavares and Aluo. So no changes there, and no changes either in that double pivot role. Anthony Hartigan and Mark Shelton in those familiar places. Ryan Glover and Zach Brunt occupy the number 10 places, because Callum Stead, who was on the bench last time out and did come on for a half an hour or so without making a huge deal of impact, has been trusted in the striker position today ahead of top scorer with 10 goals, Nicky Kabamba. But Callum Stead's got a few goals himself, hasn't he? Yeah,
Callum Stead, second top scorer. He's by no means a massive drop off from Nicky Kabamba, and like you said, when Kabamba wasn't playing,
2 goals. There's only 2 goals in it.
Yeah, 2 goals in it, and he could catch that up today. Of course, Callum Stead's had a bit of injury problems himself, so now's an opportunity for him to make a claim for himself, score today, and Dean Brennan's got a decision to make ahead of the Eastleigh game next up.
Of course, a warm welcome to those joining us on National League TV via DAZN. You can, of course, watch this game, as it is not bound by the 3 p.m. blackout. And also, of course, welcome to all those watching on the YouTube stream. Please leave your comments in there. Let us know where you're watching. We'd love to hear your opinions as we go through the match. You're a talkative lot. We do look at your comments.
Absolutely.
So keep chatting, keep talking, and we hope we can bring you an entertaining game. Sutton United, let's have a look at their squad. We've got Jack Sims in goal. 3 changes have been made. Tyler French, the captain, Hayden Muller, Charlie Waller, Ryan Jackson and Bessart Topolai. Are we going with Topolai?
Topolai, yeah.
Topolai. Let's go with Topolai. It's spelt Topolaj, but I don't want to embarrass myself. In midfield, it's Finley Barbrook, Lewis Simper, Jack Wadham comes into the squad. And striking is Ashley Naderzan and Will Davis. Will Davis, bit of a danger man for the U's.
Yeah, top scorer.
7 goals, according to our sources. Is that right?
Yeah, 7 goals, right. Scored last week. So, yeah, but he's only scored 1 goal away from home this season out of those 7 goals. So he's not very familiar outside Sutton, seems.
Quick shout out to Amy Edwards and Melissa Hasty, who are watching. Hope we can bring you a lovely game. I hope you're all well. And it will be, as always, Mark Shelton and Zach Brunt who will kick us off. Just going through a couple of stretches as the referee gears us up for what we hope will be a Christmas cracker on Boxing Day.
Another 2-person kickoff as well. Seems to be a thing for Barnet these days.
Jamie O'Connor, the official in charge today, has the whistle in his mouth, looks around and off we go. And the ball is played immediately to Anthony Hartigan. And Tavares has it now at the back. What prediction are we going to go with today? I think we agreed that we were going to do predictions today.
Yep, today I'm going to go for a 2-0 Barnet, I think, home side. We want to bounce back from obviously drawing 1-1 of Halifax recently. So I think 2-0 performance, Callum Stead first goal scorer.
Wow, you got first goal scorer as well. I think, do you know what? I think I can see this being a 3-1 to the Bees. But we will see. We will see Sutton pose a challenge of their own, and that's good work from the Bees to get out of trouble. And Tavares is driving the Bees forward, plays it out wide to Danny Collins. Shelton tries to flick it back to Collins, but it's cleared away. But the Bees have it back now. Here's Brunt. Goes back to Aluo, the furthest man back, but still in the centre circle. Here's Miles Kenlock over on the left. Switches the play to Ben Coker. Looks down the channel at Callumstead, but decides to go back to Kenlock. Hayes calling for it. Doesn't get it. Tavares now over on the far side. A smallish travelling contingent from Sutton.
Yep. Good little following from them. Not the furthest journey on a Boxing Day, but they've had a good turnout. They're making a lot of noise to start off the game. We were saying earlier about, you know, whoever Sutton would play a back five, and that's what it looks like to be in these early stages. You can see Ryan Jackson, who's come in today. He's the extra defender on the right wing back, so it'll be interesting to know that they've matched Dean Brennan's 5 at the back, or 3 at the back for Barnet.
It's Hartigan. Now Coker. Inside to Anthony Hartigan. Tavares is calling for it over on the far side, gets it. Of course, Reece Brown, another absentee today. He was taken off at half-time. According to Dean Brennan, he couldn't breathe due to the Barnet flu bug that seemed to be going around. Hopefully, he's on the mend.
Yeah, we hope he's all right, because Reece Brown, he was in good form since he's come back from injury. So sad to see. Hopefully, he's all good and back for the next game.
He's always a big loss. Such a game-changing player when he's on song.
Yeah.
Here's Shelton inside to Callumstead, who already looks like he's going to prove a bit of a menace today.
Yeah, looks lively as always. That's what he does, Callumstead. He always keeps you occupied. Always making runs in behind.
Here's Kenlock, told Coker to come closer, but he didn't oblige. Here's Hartigan, back to Kenlock. And Ryan Jackson is wearing a face mask today. One of those Batman-style...
Absolutely, we've seen those plenty of times in the...
They just look so cool, don't they?
Yeah, they look pretty cool. We know he must be in pain. A nose injury, I'm guessing.
He's battle-hardened.
Yeah.
Here's Aluo taking the Bees out from the back. Now Kenlock. Gets away from Nadazan.
Callumstead's made about 3 in behind runs. He hasn't got the ball yet, and he's got it now, to be fair.
Hartigan plays a lofted through ball, and Shelton is bundled over there by the Sutton defender, but nothing given by the referee. Coker pushes his man off, and that's good interchange. It's Coker into the middle, and that was a good play from Ben Coker down that left-hand side, that famous left-hand side for Barnet that seems to cause so much trouble. And Sutton United have a player on the floor there. It looks like Ryan Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, the referee let 2 potential fouls go, which maybe just goes to show you that he's going to be letting challenges go in this game. But a brilliant play on left-hand side between Stead and Coker. Really neat 1-2. Plays in the box, but again, no one's there to touch it home. It was a really good move, and that's a great opportunity for Barnet to get an early goal, maybe settle the nerves, but good defending from Sutton United. But good start from Barnet.
Shows the danger that Ben Coker possesses over on that left.
Absolutely. He's got a wand of a left foot. He's got a really good delivery. Can take it left or take it right.
Take that one off.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we very often see Ryan Glover in that position, but he's been preferred in the 10 position, which he can play with equal menace.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, last week on the left-hand side, he was really, really playing well, linking up very good, and now he can do that from inside the pockets where Reece Brown would potentially be, and Glover's got that ability, to turn on the half-turn, play neat passes, so hopefully we'll see more of that today.
The battle-hardened Ryan Jackson is on the touchline now, waiting for permission to come back on. The referee's not happy with the attempted Sutton free kick by Finlay Barbrook. He's holding the ball in his hands, drops it for Barbrook. And it's actually a drop ball, not a free kick. Long ball played by Sutton towards Will Davis, but Aluo deals with that very comfortably, heads it down to Miles Kenlock. Here's Coker. Into Hartigan. Hartigan with a lovely ball through the middle to Shelton, who lays it off to Brunt. Brunt goes wide to Danny Collins over on the right. Back inside to Hartigan. First time to Miles Kenlock. Being urged to shoot. He does go for the shot. And for the first time in a while, a Barnet player obliges with the crowd's request to shoot from long distance. And it was a couple of yards over the bar. Not the worst effort, but the keeper probably had it covered.
Yeah, I mean, he had space. He's just on the edge of the box. Opens up for him. Didn't have much options to play, so went for it. And, you know, Kenlock, I know he hasn't scored this season, but he's gone close on a couple of occasions. But good effort, but just a bit over the bar.
Jack Sims will be going long with this goal kick. 6 minutes played, 0-0.
I think if Sutton can restrict Barnet to those long shots, they'll be happy with that. You don't want Barnet going in and around the box, having those 1-2s, because that's where Barnet can really, really hurt you. So, someone happy for Kenlock to have that shot. Edge of the box from a left back as well.
Here's Simper for Sutton. Tried to find Nadesan, but the ball was easily intercepted. And here's Ryan Glover. Almost lost the ball out, but just about got it back to Kenlock. Aluwo back to Nick Hayes now. Back to Aluwo. Aluwo jogs forward with the ball, plays it over to Kenlock on the left. Hartigan, and he's back with Aluwo. We see those patient little triangles at the back. Here's Tavares. First time back to him by Shelton. And it's back with Hayes again.
Yeah. Just looking at Sutton, it seems like it's a real flat four in the midfield. Nadesan's dropping really deep. Usually plays up top, but Will Davis seems to be leading the line, and they're just going to sit in midfield, make sure Hartigan and Shelton don't get time on the ball.
Here's Tavares over on that far side. He might try and find Callum Stead, but that's a good interception there from Charlie Waller. It was a nice idea from Nick Tavares.
Yeah.
And you can see exactly what Callum Stead was trying to do there, playing off the shoulder of the defender.
Said it in the beginning. He's made about 3 of those runs already, and that's what he's looking to do. Always in behind. He's got the pace.
Let's hope he hasn't indulged in too many mince pies. Callum Stead, he looks light on his feet at the moment. Kenlock tries a ball inside towards Shelton, who applauds the effort, but it's into the feet of Jack Sims, the Sutton United goalkeeper.
Yeah, I guess the only potential downsides of playing Callum Stead is that you lose the Nicky Kabamba's height in the box. Although Callum Stead's fairly good in the air, Kabamba does offer that height, that hold-up play, which you've always been criticising him before, but he does have that in abundance with physicality.
Although Adetoro had his number last week, didn't he?
No, he did. I mean, Adetoro have many people's numbers, given the size of him, to be fair.
Not many people get past that.
At all.
Man mountain.
Yeah. Who gets past Halifax? That's another question.
Yeah, no one beats Halifax, do they? No one, really. Apart from York in the last minute, but we don't talk about that.
Not at all.
Ball is in the middle of the park. Shelton. Will he keep it from going for a throw? He does. Back to Tavares, and after 9 minutes, nothing of note really, apart from Ben Coker having a sort of a half chance to put it in the box, but it was easily cleared by the Sutton United defence. Barnet fans trying to G up their team now. That's a nice ball down the line towards Coker, but it just runs a little bit too long, and he was offside anyway. And Sutton United have a free kick.
Yeah. It's a couple of offsides against Barnet, so Sutton's line is either really, really good, or Barnet just mistiming their runs a little bit.
I mean, it's the classic opposition performance at the Hive so far. You know, frustrate, break up the game, keep your shape, don't do anything silly. Doesn't look like they're going to be taking the game to the Bees.
Not at all.
But let's see how things progress. Here's Will Davis, dropping deep to collect the ball, lays it off cleverly though to Simper, who gets it out wide. In comes the ball. Oh, it was laid off there, and Davis has actually collected it, and it's laid off for Simper. Beg your pardon, it was Davis with the shot. And just blasted that one wide.
Yeah, we're talking about Sutton not taking it to Barnet, but they did on that occasion. And good run from top line, left-hand side, puts in a good ball. Nadesan tries to say it off, and Barnet just couldn't clear their lines and fell to Simper, and it was a really poor effort given the time he had. But a good sight from Sutton United and a bit of positivity for them going forward.
Yeah, it was a little bit worrying how they didn't clear their lines as quickly as they should have done there.
I think with Barnet, when it comes to Barnet, don't clear the ball at like a regular team with you, but always looking to keep possession and play out from the back.
That's a dodgy ball back to Nick Hayes, who has lumped one into the air. But the Bees get away with it, and that's an interesting looking ball towards Callum Stead. Keeper thinks about coming for it, but doesn't. It's Callum Stead into the penalty area. Still Stead, and toe pokes it towards Jack Sims, who gets a leg in the way. And probably the best chance of the game so far after 10 minutes falls to Callum Stead, who did brilliantly well to beat his man and get the toe poke away.
Yeah, we were saying how Callum Stead is a runner, and Anthony Hartigan just plays over the top, and no Stead's going to be there. He gets in front of the keeper, beats his man 1v1. It's a bit of a tight angle, but gets a shot with his left foot, toe pokes it, but good save from Jack Sims.
There was no one really in there to receive it. Here's Glover over on the left. He's bundled over Ryan Jackson cheaply, much to the frustration of Bees fans.
Yeah. Just going back to that chance, that's what Callum Stead always offers. If you're in trouble, just knock it long. He's going to chase after and create opportunities from nothing, really. So more of that from Callum Stead, I'm sure Barnet will get a goal.
Sutton trying to play it out from the back, and that's dangerous. They've actually lost the ball, and Brunt will get in there. That's good work from the Bees to win it back really high up the pitch, and that's probably why they don't go short from goal kicks.
Yeah.
I remember a certain Rochdale committing that cardinal sin, and Kabamba punished them that day.
Absolutely. But that's the modern game now. Possession's valued really highly. You always want to play out from the back. Obviously, the goal is to draw the team out and then break. But
that's loose though from Kenlock, and Ryan Jackson has the ball, but they've lost it again. And here's Kenlock. Hartigan inside to Brunt, who's found a pocket of space. Plays the first time ball into Stead, who holds it up brilliantly. Over to Glover. Over on the right-hand side with Tavares, but can't quite feed Collins. It's good interception there, but Tavares gets his body in the way and wins the ball back. Great work from Nick the Brick. And it's back with Hayes, and now Aluo looking to start another attack for Barnet. Here's Anthony Hartigan. Now Tavares. Tries that ball down the channel towards Stead, but it's intercepted by Charlie Waller. And Stead wins the ball back, but it's unfairly, according to the linesman. Bit of a soft one potentially, but maybe just enough contact to elicit the foul, and it's a free kick to Sutton in their own half.
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times. Just any little contact, Sutton players are going right down. And referee, I thought he was going to let a couple off like he did earlier in the game, but seems to have given in to Sutton's taking them fouls.
Stead's not a big man. I'm not sure quite how he managed to go down that easily, Charlie Waller, but benefit of the doubt, perhaps.
Yeah. And in this day and age, any contact plays are always going to go down, aren't they?
Long ball played towards Will Davis, but that's never going to reach him. Hayes takes the safe option and plays it into touch. Sutton United have a throw inside the Barnet half, which they think about taking quickly, but don't. The ball finally drops down from the roof of the B Army stand. Here's Tyler French, the captain. Decides to go back to Sims as Stead and Glover lead the press. Sims assessing whether to go long, which he probably will do. He will. It's nodded on towards Will Davis, but it looks like Tavares will get there. Plays it back to Hayes. Davis chases him down, but Hayes plays it safely over to Tavares, who plays a slightly risky ball inside to Hartigan, but if you want calmness, you go to Anthony Hartigan. But he's playing it around at the back, as they often do. Here's Hayes again. And there's 4 or 5 players stopping the press, and Hayes just about plays it over to Kenlock, who nutmegs Ashley Naderzin there. And Aluo finally does go long. Stead with a brilliant leap that defies his height. And Stead nods it on to Coker, but he loses the ball. Hartigan collects it in the middle of the park and loops it over to Nick Tavares. Here's Hartigan. And Sutton, you can see the work rate from Sutton as they try and stop the Bees playing, but Collins tries a long ball towards Tavares, but it was a bit too long.
Definitely, you can see them pressing in packages. I think they choose when to press. I mean, just going back to a couple minutes ago, Barnet looked a bit sketchy when they were playing out from the back. They've done really well in the end. Kenlock, nutmeg and Naderzin, but in packages, Sutton will press and try and add pressure to Barnet when they're playing out from the back.
They do play a dangerous game, do the Bees, at the back sometimes. And here comes Ryan Jackson over on this near side, tries to beat Coker. And, well, the referee has said that that's a foul as Coker upended Jackson. And Sutton United have been awarded a free kick inside the Bees' half, which they might wish to lump into the penalty area.
Yeah, definitely. Ben Coker can see himself to be quite fortunate not to get a yellow card because Jackson was advancing into the Barnet half, but referee lets him off the hook with that one. But an opportunity for Sutton to get numbers in the box, move the ball in, trouble Barnet from the set piece.
It's the Barnet fans you can hear that are bringing the festive cheer. But it's Sutton United with the free kick. We've got Simper standing over this, as well as, well, we can't quite make out his number actually.
I think Simper will be over this. Yeah,
it will be Simper with the left foot. Oh, it looked threatening for half a second, but it was far too long and it goes out harmlessly for a goal kick, which Nick Hayes will take.
Yeah, Steve Morrison will be disappointed with that opportunity to get numbers in the box, and delivery was just a bit too long. And
we haven't even talked about Steve Morrison yet, have we? Millwall legend.
Millwall legend for sure.
Scored about 5 million goals for Millwall in his time.
Yeah. Famous one at Wembley against Bradford City. 1-0, 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. And some fans thought it'd be a good idea to jump on the pitch, and Morrison was pretty critical of his own fans. So, you know, he speaks his mind, does Steve Morrison.
Yeah.
Took over the U's in January 2024. He couldn't save them from relegation.
No, unfortunately he couldn't, but his first full season with them, and they've started fairly okay. Like I said, middle of the park team. Could be a plucky team when it comes to playoff contention, but they've given a good account of themselves so far. Restricted Barnet to one really clear opportunity for Callum Stead.
Joe Kizzy, of course, was signed from the relegated U's this season, but he is not in the squad and hasn't been for a long time. Sutton United look to have won a throw-in. I have no idea how they managed to win that.
Yeah,
just played the ball off Coker as it looked to be going out. Good play from Naderson there, and the U's have a throw-in on the halfway line. Referee tells them to move back, as do the Barnet fans. 18 minutes gone. Barnet 0, Sutton United 0. No real clear-cut chances, possibly the Callum Stead one, if depending on your definition of clear-cut.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of made that chance by himself, to be fair. It wasn't like a brilliant piece of play. It was just long ball from Hartigan, and fair play to Callum Stead. He made that on his own.
Good play from Nick Tavares to evade the press, and Mark Shelton is driving forward now for the Bees into the Sutton half. Plays it over to Collins, who goes back to Hartigan. To Miles Kenlock now on the near side. He's got Coker over to the left, who he finds. Coker goes first time back to Kenlock, and now it's back with Aluwo. And shades of Halifax last week. Tough to break down. First time ball to Kenlock over to Glover. Glover cuts inside and goes into the penalty area, and Coker tries to flick it back to him. Trying to be a little bit too clever there, but the Bees win it back. That's brilliant work from Aluwo. Here's Kenlock. Now Hartigan. Outside of the boot pass to Tavares. Just oozes class, does Hartigan. We say it every game, and it doesn't make it any less true.
Yeah, he plays at his own tempo, always got time on the ball. Even if there's 5 people around him, he always finds a way to have time on the ball. Never gives it away. Really
just
good player.
So, I mean, if you were in a crisis situation, you'd want Anthony Hartigan with you there, because the man just oozes composure.
Yeah, he uses class. Always calm on the ball.
Here he is now.
Makes the right decision all the time.
And his Brunt, could he line up a shot? He feigns the long shot, tries to play it inside. Good idea. Didn't quite pull it off. Aluwo gets there ahead of Will Davis. Aluwo, of course, always left 1v1. Brennan trusts him to do the job.
Absolutely.
Hartigan tries a first-time ball behind the Sutton defence. Almost came off, just not quite enough on it. And Sutton United have it back in the centre circle. Yeah,
just on Aluwo, he's got the pace to match most strikers in this division. So you know that he's never going to get beat for pace. It always is a risk, because if he gets beaten, there's no one on the recovery. But 9 times out of 10, Oliver is always there.
I remember a recent game, the Ebbsfleet game, with the silly goal that Nick Hayes unfortunately conceded. Aluwo almost managed to actually secure it. But anyway, here come Sutton United, and there's a chance for Naddison to get a shot away, and he scored. How easy was that? Sutton United have taken the lead. It's Ashley Naddison with the goal. We were just talking about
literally
how tight the defence was, and Aluwo couldn't stop that one. It's Barnet 0, Sutton United 1 on 20 minutes.
I mean, talk about commentators' curse right there. Talking about how Oliver at the back, 1v1 is all good, but it just comes through good play in the middle and just a ball in behind, and Naddison's away. And talked about Naddison scoring 5 goals this season, and when he's one-on-one, he finishes it well. Hayes did get a hand to it, but the power was too strong enough to go past him. And once again, Barnet are a goal down at the Hive.
Disappointing stuff from the Bees, who, as always, dominate possession, but if they just don't quite have that penetration at the moment. They couldn't find a way past Halifax with a winner last week. They managed to score from a bizarre goal from Mark Shelton. They conceded first against the Shamen, and they've conceded first again today. And on 21 minutes, we're looking at 1-0 to the away side, and we're underway again.
I'd love to see that goal again, just to see how the ball got. How it's like
just carved open the midfield, really, didn't they?
In transition so quickly, and just one ball in behind, and it was just easy. I know Barnet obviously play a high line, they play 1v1 at the back, but that seemed too easy.
Hayes got a hand to it, didn't he? And
he did get a hand to it.
Just wasn't quite strong enough, and it nestled in the corner.
Yeah, it was a good finish from Naddison. He got enough power in it, good direction, and Sutton, one opportunity, one goal.
Ball almost found its way through to Glover. And Barnet will now have to inject a little bit of urgency into their play. Still plenty of time left in this game. As I mentioned last week, they were 1-0 down against Boston United, and it took until the 60-odd minute to find the equaliser, from which point the floodgates opened. So you can never write off this Bees side, especially at home. But it is, I'm afraid, once again, another clean sheet that has not been... It's not happened. It's not happened. There's no clean sheet again today.
Disappointing, because obviously the Ebbsfleet game should have been a clean sheet. But you can bet your mortgage that Nicky Bamble will be warming up very, very soon. If Barnet can't get an equaliser.
Collins is upended there in the middle of the park. Referee awards Barnet a free kick. And it's all gone a little bit subdued now from the home fans.
Yeah, I mean, standard, you can see the goal, unexpected goal, really. It's a bit of a shock, I think. You know, probably thought Drew the last game, come out roaring, early goal, but just seems to have gone, and we don't want this to be any sort of slump. You know, Barnet had that away form slump, but that to happen at home would be really disappointing, given how strong Barnet have been at home this season, and we'll have to wait and see, but we don't want that to happen, do we?
We certainly don't, and Barnet have won a corner, though. Danny Collins' cross was blocked. And another hot topic has been Barnet's lack of goals from corners. The deliveries have been, you know, of a good quality, but the way they attack them does feel a little bit random. But anyway, Coker delivers one into the box. It's cleared away. Here's Kenlock being urged to shoot, but he's never going to do that. Miles away from the goal. Over to Coker. Here's Shelton now, being hounded by Barbrook. And here's Hartigan again. Crosses the pitch to Zach Brunt. There's still several players in the Sutton United penalty area, but they are dispersing all the Barnet players as the attack looks to start again with Aluwo. Here's Kenlock.
Every Sutton player behind the ball here.
Through the lines to Brunt. Well, they've got something to protect now, have the U's. Yeah. Here's Glover. Good play to find Zach Brunt in a little pocket. Oh, tries to find Callum Stead with a through ball. They weren't on the same wavelength, and the ball trickles out for a goal kick.
Right idea. It was a tough pass that from Zach Brunt, but just not on the same wavelength. But back to what you're talking about in terms of set pieces. Given that Barnet, you know, last week had, I think, 4 corners in the first 20 minutes. They do really collate a lot of corners, and they're not the smallest side. You've got Aluwo, you've got Kenlock, you've got Tavares, Collins, Coker. Should be scoring a bit more from corners, given the height in the squad.
So another long ball played through to Will Davis, but Aluwo wins that particular duel. Collins is in support and plays it back to Hayes, who was unable to stop Ashley Nadesan from getting the opener. Did get a hand to it, did Nick Hayes, just not quite enough. Stead leaps for the ball, but heads it only onto himself. He chases the lost cause, though, and forces the error, and has that gone out for a goal, a corner?
Done well there, hasn't he, the keeper?
Just about. Jack Sims stops it going out for a corner. Not that the Bees really score from corners, as we just discussed.
I think when you're talking about Nick Hayes getting a hand to it, reminds me of the York game where Hayes got a hand on to the free kick, and I remember Dean Brennan was saying when you get a hand to it, you've got to save it, and I think Dean Brennan will be thinking the same again today. Once you get a hand on it, you've got to save it.
It was what I would say, it was a tidy finish.
Tidy finish.
A tidy finish, you know, went for placement, and Hayes just couldn't quite get enough on it. Anyway, Hayes launches a long ball towards Danny Collins, who loses out with the header, but it's Tavares who gets it into Shelton. Over back to Collins on the right. Collins might get an early cross, decides not to. Continues going forward. Plays the short pass to Tavares. First time to Hartigan now. Switches over to Kenlock as the Bees switch the play to the near side. Coker into Glover. Glover being chased down. Too short, and Ryan Jackson intercepts, and he wins the throw-in. Good play from Sutton United. And it's just loose and lacking quality from the Bees, I would say. Yes,
very similar to the Halifax game, it seems. Seems like Halifax have laid the blueprint when you're playing Barnet at the Hive. Sit everyone behind the ball, have a compact full midfield, just hit them on the counter and take your chances. And that's what Sutton are doing, defending really, really well, taking their time, disrupting Barnet's rhythm. And the first 27 minutes is paying off.
Ryan Jackson nods it on to Nadson, the goal scorer, and it's unusually poor quality from Hartigan as he just hoofs it out of play. Throw into Sutton United around the halfway line, and they'll take their sweet time with this. Ryan Jackson shoves the ball under his shirt to dry it off. Love it when footballers do that.
Waste a few more seconds.
Yeah, classic trope. Aluwo needs to deal with this one. Nadesan, though, tackles him. Aluwo just about gets away with it. He had his hands all over Aluwo, did Nadesan, and the referee agrees it's a free kick to the Bees. That's good defensive work from Aluwo.
Yeah, good defensive work. Recovered well after it seemed like he wasn't about
to make
it.
That's the thing about Aluwo, is he always looks like he's in a lot of trouble. But actually, he kind of usually, 9 times out of 10, knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. And that's why he's on the pitch, and that's why we're not.
Here's Aluwo now. Could play it back to Hayes, he does. Hayes is well out of his goal. Into Hartigan now. Can Barnet get back into this game sooner rather than later, as they got back into the game quite quickly against Halifax, which was a good thing in all things considered, as the game continued to frustrate. But there's a real danger that in this type of game that the crowd gets continually frustrated, and the squad tends to panic, and they don't take...
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Barnet aren't creating chances, that's when the fans start to get a bit restless.
Yeah.
If if Sutton United are still just taking long on the ball, long on throw-ins, that's what they want, Sutton United. But Barnet just want create chances, get the fans on their feet, show them the belief that a goal can happen or will happen anytime soon.
Both sides have a similar clean sheet record, so clearly there is a way past the U's, and Barnet need to find it. Here's Glover, over on the left. Here's Kenlock, inside to Hartigan. Hartigan might get a cross in. We don't tend to see those deep kind of crosses. I think Dean Brennan hates them.
To be fair, Callum said he's in terms of height, I don't think he'd win one of those headers.
No, you haven't got Kabamba in the box, so don't do that. Here's Zach Brunt, being chased away from goal, but plays it back to Tavares. Here's Hartigan now. Plays a lofted ball to Ben Coker on the left, and here's Glover. Drops the shoulder, goes for goal. Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant goal. Ryan Glover, take a bow.
Wow. We said it on a couple of commentaries earlier that when Ryan Glover cuts in, he's always looking for the far corner. Coker plays it into him. He sees the far corner, opens up and puts an absolutely beautiful effort into the top corner. It loops at the last minute and goes into the top corner, but what a goal.
Did it take a deflection?
Yeah, it may have, because it did loop in at the last minute.
The way it looped just under the bar. Honestly. It looked like it, for a second, it looked like it was going over the bar.
Yeah.
And as you say, at the last second it dipped.
Yeah, just crawling at the last minute, but I mean, when you're trying to break it down the strong defensive side, you're going to need individual brilliance. And Ryan Glover showed that just now. And we're talking about the fans being down there, right on their feet. And the momentum's all on Barnet's way.
That is just what Barnet needed. And just like Halifax last week, the Bees haven't taken too long to find that equaliser. They found it in the first half. And that will really G up and has G'd up the crowd as they clap and sing on Boxing Day.
Absolutely. Like you said, this is the perfect response for Barnet. And like you said, the fans are on their feet, but now it's all about getting that second goal. You know, Dean Brennan said last week that Barnet just didn't get that second goal, and they're going to have to get it this time if they want all 3 points.
Ryan Glover proving just how dangerous he is if you give him space inside that penalty area. It's becoming a bit of a trademark, that far corner.
Absolutely.
That far corner curler. And this one was superb to watch, even if it did take a deflection. And the kind of quality of goals we're seeing at the Hive recently, barring last week's effort from Shelton, just keeps getting better.
Yeah, see Shelton the week before, Reece Brown.
Here's Brunt in a pocket of space, tries to find Coker on the left. And you can just see how that goal has injected a bit of energy, a bit of spark into the Bees players. But that's good play from Sutton to try and get forward. It's Barbrook. Good interception from Aluo, who was alert to the danger, and it's a throw into Sutton inside the Bees' half. That's goal number 4 for Ryan Glover, as I have it. Ryan Jackson takes the throw in. He's surely pushed off the ball by Will Davis, is Ben Coker. He is, and the referee awards a free kick. Gates said 2-0 up against Hartlepool. Tamworth and Forest Green still a stalemate. Yeah. Here's Callum Stead chasing the lost cause. He gets there ahead of Jack Sims, who flaps at it, but somehow manages to get a glove to it and goes down on the floor as if he's been shot in the stomach.
Yeah, I mean, that's Callum Stead once again. We always say when there's a long ball, he's always going to chase it, and he almost got a goal out of nothing. Just tried to loop over the keeper, but the keeper did recover and done well, but he seemed to have hurt himself. And the perfect break and play that Sutton United needed, given that Barnet had all the momentum.
Yeah, you can clearly see that's possibly a bit tactical. It was Stead who was just chasing that lost cause that looped and bounced inside the Sutton United penalty area. The keeper made a bit of a hash of it initially, flapped at it, and he was tussling with Stead, who kind of just flicked out a leg and flicked out a foot and must have caught the keeper, who's probably making a little bit more of a meal of it. But I would never accuse him of doing that, would I?
Not at all.
Or any keeper of doing that. But it is Barnet 1, Sutton United 1 after 33 minutes. A big thank you once again to everyone who is joining us, whether on the YouTube stream or National League TV via DAZN. And the game has swung a little bit. Sutton United just held their own. They managed to get their noses in front, carving open Barnet's midfield, and Ashley Nadson with a tidy little finish past Nick Hayes, who got something on it but not quite enough. And about 10 or so minutes later, it was Ryan Glover who found the equalising goal. Yeah. Deflection or not, quality.
Yeah, we were right behind that. We were in the perfect angle. We could just see it. Like, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. Crawls it, loops in at the last minute. It'd be beautiful to see that on the replay, to see where they take a deflection. But Barnet fans won't care, and they're back level. Exactly what they needed.
Jack Sims has made a miraculous recovery and throws the ball over to the left. Here's Simper. Look at the hounding there from Danny Collins, and the Bees win the ball back high up the pitch. And here's Tavares back with Kenlock. Switches it to Coker. Takes a neat touch with his left and back inside to Kenlock. Over to Glover, the goal scorer. And he was the threat last week, was Ryan Glover, and he came off, so perhaps just wasn't the right decision in the end by Dean Brennan, because clearly he's a man in good form.
Definitely. Seemed like last week, left-hand side seemed like the biggest threat for Barnet. I thought Glover was linking up really well. Didn't get many opportunities in that game, but he always seemed the bright spark. And Dean Brennan's repaid the faith by starting him again today, and he's playing a bit more further forward than he did last week in that number 10 role, and played dividends, Scored a beautiful goal, and that's what Barnet need, given that Reece Brown's out. need a bit of more of a spark, bit of an injection, and he's offered that today so far. But I'd like to see Zach Brunt getting the game a little bit more, though. He's got quality, but needs to get a bit more involved, show what he can do.
We often find ourselves saying that about Zach Brunt. He tends to drift in and out of games.
Yeah.
But we know the sort of quality that he can provide in just a moment's switch, a moment's notice. Anyway, Sutton have a throw-in just inside the Bees' half. They decide to go back. Here's Siler French, the captain. Plays a ball through the middle, but that's a loose touch, and Hartigan wins it back. Here's Coker. Aluwo. A little bit of a Cruyff turn from Aluwo. Oh, he's lost the ball in a really dangerous area. It's Wadham who's brought down. Referee, though, unmoved. And the Bees get away with one there. Here comes Glover. Can he get forward? He needs to release the ball if he can. Took too long. And Sutton win it back with Barbrook.
Yeah, that was dangerous. Oliver just tried to be a little bit clever by Cruyff turning between two of Sutton's players, and that could have been dangerous, but good recovery from Barnet to win the ball back.
Here's Stead trying to control it. Makes a bit of a hash of it. And Sutton United win it back. Here's French. Again, loose play, and that's a ridiculous attempt to win a free kick that hasn't been given. And here's Ryan Glover over to the left with Ben Coker, who's got his wand of a left foot inside to Shelton, who makes a mess of the header. Will it be rescued by Tavares? No, it won't. It's out for a throw into Sutton. That was such a cynical attempt, I think, to win a free kick in the middle. He took about 3 business days to go down.
Yeah, simple. You just give the ball away. Maybe he was touched, but when you're touched, you can't go down 3 seconds later, like you were saying. And
that's poor.
Yeah, really, really poor from him. But the referee didn't bite, so credit to the referee for seeing that and letting the game continue.
Yeah, I mean, you know, ordinarily you might get a booking for that.
Yeah, booking for diving.
Because that is simulation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So poor there. Here's Coker. Tries a ball over to Ryan Glover. It was a clever idea, didn't execute it. And that is a mistake from French.
Yeah. Very cheap corner to give away. Very cheap corner.
Gives away the corner. Jack Sims was never going to get there. Will the Bees play it short? They will. Here's Glover. It's Coker calling for it. Back to Glover now. Here is the goal scorer entering the penalty area. Will he get a cross in? And it's Sutton just about slice it clear. Good touch from Coker to control it. He drives across into the box. Callum Stead jumps for glory, but doesn't quite get there. Still with the Bees, though, on the far side with Danny Collins. Here's Brunt inside. Here's Shelton. To Stead, back to Shelton. Now Glover. Pops inside the penalty area, over to the left with Coker. Chops onto his left, then his right, then his left again. Trying to play Ryan Jackson for a full, but Jackson stays composed. Here's Kenlock over on the left. Tries to check inside, loses the ball cheaply. Good play from Barbrook to win it back. Yeah. And Sutton United have an opportunity to launch a counter-attack. Davis is in a huge amount of space. It's actually Wadham in a huge amount of space here, over on the left. Takes a heavy touch, and it's Adebola Aluwo who once again rescues the Bees from trouble.
Yes, happened a couple times, you know, but Sutton just one pass and they're in. And, you know, Oliver.
Well, that's the high risk, high reward, isn't it?
That's the high risk, high reward play, but I think Sutton are getting a bit in often, a bit more than Dean Brennan would like. You know, that's always there for insurance with Oliver, but if Sutton had a better end product, better final pass, it definitely could have had a lot more clear-cut opportunities in this game.
39 minutes played, 1-1 is the score. Sutton United have a corner kick. In the ball goes, and it evades just about everyone. Looks like it's going to be rescued here by Barbrook. It is.
Yeah, I mean.
Plays it to Ryan Jackson. Everyone for the Bees behind the ball now, and here's Jackson on the overlap. He'll get there, and he's got an opportunity to get one in first time. He does. Good header away from Tavares, and here's Wadham. Can't quite get it under his feet. Commits the foul, and it's a free kick to Barnet.
Important header from Tavares there, because Jackson had put in a good delivery, but Barnet dealt with it very well. Just on the corner, went for everyone. Just again, Nicky Gabamba's normally the man on that near post who heads it away, and when he's not there, seemed a bit...
Just evaded everyone, didn't it?
A little bit of chaos, it evaded everyone, but Barnet get away with it.
Neither side clearly going to the Arsenal school of set pieces.
No at all, not at all.
And I mentioned Arsenal, knowing full well that you are a cheeky Arsenal fan yourself.
Yep. Do you follow that team in North London?
We don't acknowledge any other teams in North London. Hayes tries the long ball towards Stead, but there's not enough on it, and it's headed clear, but Hartigan will collect. And a bit of head tennis, and Glover gets it down to Shelton. Shelton surely fouled, but ref plays on. Here's Collins on the far side, inside to Zach Brunt. Taking his time to pick his option, instead goes short to Hartigan. Kenlock's in some space, he finds Kenlock. Kenlock will probably play it over to Coker, he does. Back inside to Hartigan. Hartigan with a short pass into Shelton. Shelton, Glover. The Bees trying to play around Sutton, it's Kenlock. Tries to find Brunt inside a pocket of space in the penalty area. Brunt claps his teammate and they share a high five because that was a really good idea. Sutton United just about dealt with it though. And it's a corner taken short to Hartigan. He'll probably play it to Glover on the overlap, he will. Glover, Coker and Hartigan all gathered on the left. Coker gets the cross in. It's a Luwo! Fantastic header from Adebola Aluwo, and it's Ben Coker's wonderful left foot that we keep banging on about that sets up yet another goal. Adebola Aluwo gets the goal for the Bees, who get their noses in front. Barnet 2, Sutton United 1.
Yeah, we were saying that Coker's got a wonder of a left foot, and that's a fantastic delivery. We say that Barnet needs to go more from set pieces, but they take the corner short, work its way out to Coker. We're seeing a beautiful delivery in Oliver in the air. We were saying earlier that he's a tall man. He should be getting more of these headers. How one of Hartlepool was chalked off, but this one was going to count. Brilliant header into the far corner. And Sutton are at 6s and 7s. They just can't deal with it. And a brilliant header. And Barnet finally lead, and they've turned it around.
Fantastic header from a player who was having a really good game.
Yeah, he's been at both ends.
He's having a really good. I mean, he's one or two moments where he's maybe looked a little bit hairy, but he's always gotten away with it, and just shows you what a threat he can be. He was, as you mentioned, unlucky not to get a goal at Hartlepool. And Adebola Aluwo is another centre back that contributes for Barnet. And here's Zach Brunt, and he's got Glover in acres of space, but he gets too much on it. It was such a simple pass, and Glover would have been right in there. Here's Glover though again, dinks the ball in towards Stead, who gets the header towards Jack Sims's goal. Oh, Zach Brunt, we know the quality he's got. Glover was in acres of space, and it would have been a one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Brunt, he's got to play that. He's got to find that pass. He's just overhit it by so much, and Ryan Glover was in. He's got his head in his hands, knowing that that was a great opportunity for him to get a second goal and to give Barnet a bit more daylight in this game. But
and if you want anyone to play that pass, it's Zach Brunt. He just has so much quality in his passing, and just got it horribly wrong. It was so overhit. Just play it gently.
Yeah, maybe had too much time and he just overthought it. But yeah, it's a brilliant opportunity that was, and
it's the sort of thing you just hope that they don't rue that.
Yeah.
But on 43 minutes, Barnet have edged in front. They've come from behind. It's Barnet 2, Sutton United 1. Aluwo with the goal that currently separates the two sides. Glover having equalised before that, and Ashley Naderson, who got Sutton in front initially. Good play from the Bees to win the ball back. Shelton is tripped, and the referee O'Connor awards Barnet a free kick, and there's a chance a couple of minutes before half-time to get the ball into the box.
Yeah, I mean, Adebola Aluwo is going to be thinking, put that on my head, I just scored a goal. So good opportunity for them.
He is jogging into the area,
absolutely.
Isn't he? Who needs Kabamba when you've got Aluwo? That's
yeah, well, Barnet just showed their quality throughout since they're going behind. They've really taken control of this game. Couple of hairy moments, but overall, this is the Barnet that the fans are used to seeing, controlling the game, creating chances, and they look a threat every time they go forward.
It's Coker and Hartigan lining this one up. My guess is that Coker will hit an in-swinger there. He set up Aluwo for the first. He could do it again. No, Coker runs past it, and it will be Hartigan with the outswinger, but it's too close to the keeper. He was aiming for Aluwo at the back post, but there was not enough on it, and I would have said that Coker probably should have taken that one.
Yeah, look, like, I think they were trying to get it away from the keeper, to be fair, with Hartigan taking it, but just couldn't get enough purchase on the outswing, and it was a good take from the keeper.
4 additional minutes to the first half. Didn't think there was a huge amount of time that was going to be added on. We did have one or two little moments, but it is 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'm guessing he thought Jack Sims was down for a longer time than we anticipated.
Well, if Barnet were to score now, that would come back to bite him. Push in the back there from Coker. Bees fans not happy with that one. They think it was soft. Jackson's a strong-looking man, and he went down a little bit. He's complaining to the referee that that's happened twice.
Yeah, I mean, Coker fouled him earlier on where he was away. This one was nowhere near as cynical as that foul, and that one was a bit soft, to be fair. Jackson clearly wants Coker in the book so that when he takes him on in the second half, potentially get him red carded.
French launches the free kick long. It's nodded on towards Wadham, but Aluwo is far too strong for him. And the ball is safely in the hands of Nick Hayes. Hayes rolls it out towards Shelton over on the right-hand side. He might play a ball long towards Stead. He will go long towards Stead. And the header back has found it hasn't quite found Brunt. He was a little bit on his heels there. Ball lumped clear again by the Sutton United goalkeeper, and you can see the game plan, just lump it and try and win the second ball. It's not quite working. And here's Kenlock with the ball. Tries the gets that horribly wrong. He tried a ball down the left channel, and it goes straight out for a Sutton United throw-in. Ryan Jackson being told to move back to take the throw-in. A few jeers from the home fans.
Forest Green have just scored a lead in at half-time at Tamworth.
Cheers, Jeff. Couldn't resist, sorry. I did actually ask you to keep an eye on the score, so I can't say that. I just couldn't resist.
Shows how important it is for Barnet to get this win today then.
Every point matters. Here's Jackson being booed by the home fans. Tries to get one down the channel. Aluwo will just about deal with it, gets it out for a throw-in. Couple of minutes, about a minute and a half to play. He's still being booed as Ryan Jackson, the right wing back for the U's today. Looks like he's going to line up a long throw here. Let's see how long it really is. We've got Jordan Cropper to compare it to. It's a decent throw that's lumped backwards, but Hayes falls on top of the ball. And that's come to nothing.
I think Dean Brennan will be delighted going into half-time. Should Barnet hold on of the response, going a goal down and getting them 2 goals, which is vitally important. Like we say, Sutton will have to come out, play more higher up the pitch, and hopefully leaves more holes at the back for Barnet to capitalise on.
Hayes plays a long drop kick, but it goes all the way out for a throw-in. He was aiming for Collins, but couldn't get hold of it. It's a throw-in to Sutton in their own half. Just 40 seconds before the fans make their way for half-time pints or non-alcoholic drinks, whatever your persuasion. And of course, those listening or watching at home won't be. They might be enjoying leftovers, turkey sandwiches.
Absolutely, mate.
All that jazz.
Straight into the fridge. Everything that was cooked yesterday.
Yeah.
Part 2.
I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
Honestly, myself included. Can't wait to get home.
No, we want to be here. We want to be here.
Of course.
Here's Aluwo. Just a few seconds left before the referee will surely blow the half-time whistle. Checks his watch. Barnet have a throw-in in the Sutton half. Collins. It looks like Collins is going to actually launch this one long.
Yeah.
No, he'll go short. He feigns the long one, and Hartigan needs to get the ball into the box, but the referee doesn't allow him to do that, frustratingly. But it is half-time. Barnet 2, Sutton United 1. It was Sutton United who took the lead. Ashley Naddison, after a ball, sort of carved open the Barnet midfield a little too easily for Dean Brennan's liking, I'm sure. And Naddison just got enough on it, and Hayes didn't get quite enough on it. And he buried it into the bottom right corner. But 10 or so minutes later, it was Ryan Glover who found the equaliser with, as we say, what's becoming a bit of a signature, as he looks to find the space to hit the ball into the far corner with his right foot. He managed to do it this time. He did it against Exeter. He did it again today. Did it take a deflection? We're not sure. The way it looped in, it might have done. And of course, Adebola Aluwo, who's had an excellent game, a rock at the back as always. He was the one who latched onto the end of a Ben Coker cross and found a brilliant header right into the corner of the goal. Jack Sims, no chance. And they have turned it around in the first half to stop the game becoming frustrating. It's half-time, Barnet 2, Sutton United 1.
Yeah, true.
Rightio then. Welcome back, everyone, for the second half of what's been a good game to watch. Sutton United took the lead with Ashley Naderson. And that was on the 21st minute. They kind of broke the lines. It was Route 1 stuff, really.
It was good, good play in the middle, and then good finish from Naderson. Really good finish. Hayes did get a hand onto it, but
and then
enough power on it.
Talk us quickly through Ryan Glover's equaliser.
Glover's goal, brilliant goal. Ball comes to Coker. Coker 2 assists, by the way. Got to put that in as well. Just plays into Glover. He's on the just inside the left of the box, and he just whips it in beautifully. We think it's taking a deflection because it loops very, very late into the top corner. Brilliant goal then. Adebola Oluwo. Coker again puts in a wonderful delivery. Oluwo rises high, heads it down into the corner. Keeper has no chance, and Barnet are ahead. So 2 good goals, 2 assists from Coker. So Coker and Collins really do get assists, so really good going forward. Really, really good.
Will be Sutton United to kick us off for the second half as we are underway now. Can the Bees hold on? And if it remains like this, they will, of course, be top of the league. York yet to play Oldham. That's the evening kickoff live on DAZN. Route 1 stuff again towards Naderson, and Davis doesn't quite find either of them for Sutton. And it's Hayes who will take its time to get this one out, and at some point Sutton United will have to take the game to Barnet now.
Yeah.
Plan A has kind of failed.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll look at the bench, maybe bring on Dylan De Silva, Nana Boateng, those forwards who do offer some sort of threat as well on the bench for them. But I think for now they'll just look to keep it compact, do what they'll do because they were getting some opportunities going forward. But I think Barnet are firmly in control and will look to get a third goal just to ease things up and make sure of the 3 points.
Well, I'm at pains to say my prediction of 3-1 is currently still on.
Yeah, still
yours, I'm afraid, has died.
Yeah, 2-0 has died, unfortunately, but there's no but. It's died.
There's no but. There's no but. Commiserations. Shelton and Hayes playing it back to each other. Shelton is shoved to the floor there by Barbrook. Good control from Collins, who holds it up brilliantly. Oh, and the last touch has come off Brunt, and that'll be a throw into Sutton United. Brunt hasn't had his best game so far. He squandered a massive opportunity to play in Ryan Glover, who would have surely got his second goal had he been played through.
Absolutely, it was a very good opportunity. Just acres of space Glover was in. Just overhit the pass, did Zach Brunt, and he's usually so good at those passes. He's usually a really good final third passer, but
huge chance, though.
Yeah,
absolutely huge chance.
A huge what could have been chance we were talking about before.
Well, the Bees have lost the ball in a dangerous position, and it's Naderson who might go for long range. He does, but it sort of swerves wide of Nick Hayes' goal. Had a bit of time and space, decided to take it fairly early. Yeah. And Hartigan was unusually loose in possession there. Yeah,
it was a side to him. Barnet have done that a couple of times in the game, just giving the ball away needlessly, and Sutton capitalise on that. Haven't scored as of yet, but you bring a dog to the bone, he will punish you, whatever the saying is.
Oluwo with a majestic header out, and Shelton tries the long ball towards Stead. It loops too high up in the air, but Coker will rescue that one, although they've lost out, have the Bees, and it's Ryan Jackson over on that right-hand side, who hasn't really got much support, but finds a way past Shelton. Can he find a way past Kenlock? Tries to find his man over on there. Good tackle, actually, by Coker. The Bees try a long ball towards Callum Stead, but even he's not quick enough to get there, and Jack Sims sweeps that one up with a high clearance. It's headed cleverly back inside to Shelton, though, who has an opportunity to play Brunt inside. Brunt with a clever touch and lays it off over on that far side to Glover. Inside to Brunt. Brunt, great brilliant interchange with Glover. Glover can get the ball into Stead! Oh, he's got to score! Absolutely superb move from the Bees. Quick interchanges in the penalty area. The cross was played into Stead, and he put his header well wide of the goal. Yeah. He had to score.
He had to score that. It was brilliant play between Brunt and Stead, just playing 1-2s. Glover and Brunt, brilliant 1-2s between each of them. Comes back out to Glover. He puts in a brilliant delivery, and instead he's got the goal at his mercy on the 6-yard box. Just heads it wide, and that's a big opportunity. We were saying before that Barnet got to take those chances, and that He's there for the chance that Callum Stead, a goal scorer, he's coming to be the number 9. He's got to be putting that away.
You wonder what Nicky Gabamba thought of that one.
Yeah, Nicky Gabamba probably thinking, if I had that opportunity, I would have buried it.
It was a low cross. That it was sort of a half diving header, wasn't it? You know?
Low cross.
Tricky skill. It came at him quite quickly, but you'd fancy someone of Callum Stead's quality, as you say, to hit the target at least. But it was nowhere near it, really. It was so wide of the post.
He went very far wide, and I think it was perfect, literally on his head. Came quite quickly, but he was under no real pressure. Just gets it all wrong, and another opportunity goes gaping for the hosts.
Sutton United are going to be forced into a change here. And we're about to see who that is going to be. It'll certainly be Naderson, who looks like he's going to be going off.
Dylan De Silva.
Beg your pardon, Roland Jackson's coming off.
Oh, he did have a mask on, so maybe that's been re-aggravated. Injury he had, and Dylan De Silva's come on to replace him. Bees fans will be happy with that. They were booing him in the first half, weren't they?
Yeah, it's another Oliver Bory type situation. Jackson was a little bit troublesome, not quite as impactful as Oliver Bory certainly was last week. Topolite tries to play a ball inside, well blocked by Collins. It's a throw into Sutton United, halfway inside the Bees' half. And it looks like Dylan De Silva is slotted in over on the left wing-back position. Here's Shelton. Beg your pardon, right wing back. Always get my lefts and rights mixed up.
Yeah, looks like a direct replacement for Ryan Jackson. They'll be hoping he can spark some energy into this Sutton performance, you know.
Collins with a long throw towards Brunt, who nods it on towards Stead. Stead tries to hold it up, does brilliantly. He's done a 3-point turn in a really tight spot there. Bees look like they've conceded a corner on the throw in on the halfway line. Here's Waller, who's going to take the throw in. Takes a short one to Barbrook. Shelton chasing him, but Barbrook gets the better of him and plays it back to Muller. Over to French, switches the play to the substitute De Silva. Bees caging them in, and they're forced to lump it long. The ball just comes off Dean Brennan, who tries to dodge the ball, but it hits him on the shoulder. 52 minutes gone, Barnet 2, Sutton United 1. Long throw from Sutton, played down the channel. Will they get hold of this? They might do, and De Silva has the ball now. Aluwo gets a foot in, concedes a throw in. Fairly deep inside the Bees' half, and Sutton United will need, as we say, to take the game to Barnet. Yeah. And you'll expect them to have a little bit more of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoying a bit of possession at the moment, and got the ball in the Barnet half, which is exactly what they'd like. See if they can work out any opportunity.
Throw in taken short to De Silva, who gets it back. And Sutton tries something intricate, and it looks like Coker's going to just let this go, which he does. Good defensive work from Coker. It's a goal kick to the Bees. Sutton tried something in that tight spot over on the far side, but just couldn't carve it out.
No, at all. Too difficult.
I think we're seeing a slight lack of quality from Sutton United. You can see why they're kind of inconsistent. They don't quite have that X factor.
Yeah, there's no real standout. Obviously, Will Davis, their top scorer.
And hang on a minute, are you allowed to knee the ball back to the goalkeeper?
You can knee it. Knee is fine.
Or thigh it back. That was a thigh back to the goalkeeper.
I think anything below the knee is ineligible, but knee is allowed.
Thank you very much, Brian. I clearly need to brush up on the intricacies of the rules. Here comes Sutton United with Topolite. He might go for goal. Here he does, and forces a save out of Hayes. Ooh. And the rebound trickles wide.
Naderson.
Hayes decided to parry that back out.
Wow, well, that's a massive opportunity for Ashley and Addison to get a second. Topola just takes a hit and Hayes parries it out back into the danger, and it just comes out. He just touches it, and Addison doesn't get a clean contact in it. But that's a massive opportunity looking back at it, because the goal was gaping, it was open.
It honestly looked like it was a P-roller that was just sort of, as Hayes was in a pile on the floor.
Yeah, but
it looked like it might sneak in that corner, but fortunately for the Bees, it didn't.
Yeah, that's a big chance though for Sutton, very big chance. But that's the danger we're talking about. They need to start posing, and they've showed it. Just a few minutes in the second half, just gone.
Bees win the ball back in an area in the midfield, and Brunt back to Glover, facing his own goal. Gets it inside to Aluo, who needs to be careful, and of course he is. Calmness personified at the moment is Aluo, the goal scorer. Down the line to Shelton now. Shelton inside to Brunt, traps the ball well. Over to the near side with Collins, who just loses the ball to Topolai, who turns Collins and gets it down the line, but Aluo looks like he's going to collect this one. Goes safe and plays a left-footed pass back to Hayes. Hayes being chased down by Will Davis. Plays it crossfield, just about enough on that. Naderson, look at Sutton chasing the ball, and they might get a corner. Goal kick. And Sutton fans are upset with that one. They think the last touch was off a Bees player.
Yeah. But Sutton are pressing much higher up the pitch and, forcing a couple of turnovers.
They're working hard, our Steve Morrison's side.
Working hard, so he definitely got to them at half-time and told them, come on, let's take it to them. A 2-1 down. We were saying earlier, if Sutton do win this game, they could potentially get into the playoff places, and that's their goal this season, is definitely to get back up to the EFL after being relegated last season.
If Sutton were to win from this position, it would be a memorable one.
Oh, for sure.
Especially seeing as Barnet don't lose at home.
Haven't lost at home the whole season. And
as you've spotted, though, it is Nicky Gabamba who is ready to enter the pitch on 55 minutes. And it's Ben Coker who's going to make way.
So you'd assume Glover will go into left wing back, wouldn't you? And
you would think so, yeah.
Nicky up top, Stead and Bright in the 10s.
Yeah, you would think so. And that's harsh on Coker, who's had
2 assists.
Really good night. Did he set up the second one?
He set up the second one as well. Yeah, he whipped it into Luwo to head that in.
He definitely did the second one.
Yeah, then the first one, he's the one who passed it to Ryan Glover. Might have been Brunt. I think it was Coker.
I thought it could have been Kenlock, actually.
We'll have to look back.
We'll have to look back at that one, yeah. It all happened so quickly.
It did.
Anyway, Glover tries to switch the play towards Shelton, but that's a good intercepting header. But it's back with Hartigan, and here's Tavares. Goes back to Hayes, who will surely lump this long. He does. And it's towards Callum Stead, who might get there. He's punished for a push in the back. There wasn't particularly a lot in that, but too much for the referee. Sutton playing it around at the back. And Charlie Waller just kind of bulldozed his way through Zach Brunt.
Did well there, Waller. Beat 2 players, but brought down. Free kick rightly given.
It's back with Waller. Plays a loose pass inside, but they get away with it. And here's Wadham. Ball played down the channel, but there's not enough quality on that, and Kenlock will get there ahead of De Silva. And it's back with Hartigan, who plays it back to Hayes, who didn't spot Will Davis lurking. Hayes just lumps it clear. Can the Bees get control of the ball? Bit of head tennis going on. Shelton heads it down to Kenlock over on that far side. Again being chased down, and he's lost the ball. To Simper. And has he fouled his man? No, he went down. No foul given. Right under the linesman's nose. Back to De Silva. And Sutton winning the ball back and putting the kind of pressure on the Bees that they need to. And Kabamba almost won the ball back, but
Sutton have come out the second half the better side. If we're going to be honest with it,
they've almost had to be though.
Yeah,
if they're the ones behind, they need some urgency.
True.
But they've certainly come out a bit. Although that is a poor ball down the right-hand channel, and Hayes will collect that. Rolls it out to Aluo. Here's Shelton. Plays it to Brunt. Tries the long ball down the line to Danny Collins, but again, they're not on the same wavelength. And Danny Collins hasn't been particularly effective, if I'm being honest, on that right-hand side.
Yeah, hasn't been able to really get in the game offensively, particularly what we so keen to see him do. Mainly been Ben Coker on the left-hand side, who's done very well today, but College always steady at the back. Defended pretty well, but yeah, going forward has been pretty poor.
The Bees win the ball back. Referee plays a clever advantage, and here's Stead, who could drive into some space. He's taking on French. Here's Callum Stead.
Oh,
he could get a chance away, and it's over the bar. Leaning back as he took the shot. Did well to carve out a space, but got the shot all wrong.
Fair play to the ref, played a really good advantage. Ball finds its way to Callum Stead, and he's taken him on, chops back in very well. But again, the final finish from Stead is just too poor, and that wasn't close again. And that one was a probably easy opportunity. He had an open look on his right foot, which is what he wants, and just couldn't convert it into a good chance, a good opportunity.
He's not got his shooting boots on at the moment, to coin a phrase.
Yeah, and I think.
But he's getting in the right positions. He's creating the chances.
Yeah, I think looking back, and he'll be thinking that those are two big chances, and like we said, hopefully he doesn't come back to bite Barnet in the back.
The backside.
Backside for sure.
That's a late challenge from the Sutton United player, and the referee might actually book him there. Looks like Finlay Barbrook might have committed that one. It was Brunt whose footwork was a little bit too quick. And halfway inside the Sutton United half, the Bees have a free kick.
We're just to hear from Dean Brennan about that Coker-Kabamba change. I know Coker hasn't been in the squad, hasn't played the last couple of games. Maybe it's just about lack of fitness, maybe. First 60 minutes, then Kabamba comes on.
Yeah, I'm interested to know the reason, because Coker has been a danger this game. They haven't been able to cope, and he's one of the players that can get those deliveries in there and really hurt you, and we've literally seen that today. So I'll be quite curious to know the reasoning for Ben Coker's hooking. Anyway, it's Hartigan who's standing over this free kick. There's a slew of Barnet players on the edge of the penalty area, but it looks like Hartigan might want to play it short. He does play it short to Shelton. Hartigan now back to Shelton. Over to Tavares. Goes to Collins on that right-hand side, who plays the ball inside to Shelton. Can he hold it up? That's good play from Shelton.
Corner.
But the corner is conceded by Hayden Muller, who managed to get a foot just in front of Mark Shelton. Good hold-up play from the Bees midfielder. And let's see if Aluwo can get his head on this one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he did score, but it was from a shorter corner. That was how the chance came about.
Yeah, does that count?
I don't think it does, to be honest. Yeah.
It kind of does.
Not direct anyway, not directly from a corner.
It'll be Brunt with the left-footed delivery. It's a looping one. It is towards Aluwo. It's headed away, and a push in the back, according to the referee. That was a dangerous header back inside the penalty area, but it's all moot because the referee has awarded Sutton a free kick. That was unnecessary, really. And here comes Sutton playing out from the back. It's over to Simper. Oh, that's a clever drop of the shoulder there from Barbrook, and he's evaded Callum Stead, who is running back to try and track him, but it's over to Topolai on the near side. He's got Wadham over to the left, decides to check back instead, and he's been crowded out by no less than 3 Barnet players. Here come Sutton again, coming through midfield with the captain Tyler French, who is in a very advanced position. Over to the right-hand side with De Silva. De Silva checks back, gets a little cross in towards Naderson, the Sutton United goal scorer, and it's cleared away towards Kabamba. Now, Kabamba's been crowded out by about 17 Sutton players, but he does really well to hold that up, does Kabamba, and the Bees come away through midfield with Callum Stead. Here's Danny Collins over on the right.
Yeah, I think Shelton wanted that one earlier. He had a bit of a
He's got it now.
say-so to Callum Stead there.
It's good play, though, from Nicky Kabamba to hold that up amid quite serious pressure there. And here's Zach Brunt over on the far side. Brunt goes for goal, and there wasn't enough on it. Went to the keeper's near post. That was very easy for Jack Sims to deal with. Bit of a waste, to be honest.
Very ambitious effort that was from Brunt, from that angle, from that range. But he did get on target, and like we said last week, Shelton took a pop. Wasn't a good effort, but went in. So
needed to go to that far post to a Ryan Glover.
Yeah.
but he couldn't match his teammates' effort. Anyway, here comes Will Davis, who gets ahead of Oluwo, but Oluwo was chasing him down and looks like he's going to win that duel. Brilliant from Oluwo, but it has come out to Simper.
Davies has been very quiet. I feel like I haven't said his name much today.
Here's Waller over to Topolai on this near side, taking on Danny Collins. Here's Topolai. Does well, does Topolai. Could get the cross in. Dinks one into the back post. And an important touch there from Kenlock. Concedes the corner, and Sutton United are growing into this game.
Yeah, definitely. Their full-backs are getting forward with a lot. Topolai had the effort earlier, which fell to Addison, and just now on the left-hand side, takes on Danny Collins. You know Collins is not the quickest, so beats it for pace. Dinks a lovely ball to the back post. I mean, Nick Hayes was in no man's land, but good defender from Barnet. They dealt with it, but
the speed. I think the speed at which Topolai got past Danny Collins was a little bit alarming. You wonder if someone like Idris Kanu would have let that happen or not. He
definitely would have matched him for pace.
Yeah, sure. Kanu has that turn of pace, and also his defensive work is excellent.
Speaking of Kanu.
Yeah, speaking of the devil, it is Kanu who is lining up. And Zach Brunt is making way. Now, Brunt, in truth, has failed to really impact this game in the way that Dean Brennan and himself would have wanted.
Yeah.
And it is Idris Kanu who's taking his place.
Yeah. Zach Brunt, the highlight of Zach Brunt's day, I think, was that Callum Stead chance. You know, he played a vital role in that.
Does that mean Ryan Glover is going back into the 10?
I'd like to think so, unless Idris Kanu's going to play there. But you'd think, yeah, Glover in the 10.
Unless Kanu's gone into the 10.
Kanu will probably go left.
Well, Kanu might go into the 10 because he's been left up there.
I think just for the corner, I think they want to change anything. But we'll see once.
Kabamba gets the header away at the near post from the resulting corner, but it's back into the area. Headed away, cleared away. Can Barnet get it down? It's absolutely hoofed clear by Anthony Hartigan. Headed back to Jack Sims, and Sutton can restart now on 65 minutes with the score at 2-1 to Barnet.
Be interesting to see that Kanu Glover. Looks like they're going to be in. Glover's gone up. Yep, Kanu's gone to left wing back.
Yeah,
looks like.
And it looks like Ryan Glover is making his way back into the 10 on that left-hand side with Callum Stead.
Yep.
A sort of front three of Nicky Kabamba, Callum Stead, and Ryan Glover is not what you want as an opposition.
Yeah, for sure. This is probably the strongest front three Barnet will pose for this season. Probably the three that Dean Brennan wants to play most of the time, I'd like to think.
Bit of a midfield battle going on between Shelton and Wadham comes out on top, and he's got Will Davis in the centre, has Naderson. He plays it in towards, Simper. What a chance. Hit it with his left foot first time. Couldn't get it on target. Brilliant cross there from Naderson.
Yeah, Naderson, that's brilliant play. It's good play. Won the net ball from Mark Shelton. Plays it across, and he had time. Simple. He could have brought it down and took a touch. Maybe he thought there was a man on him. But a really, really poor finish given the opportunity he had at hand. I mean, that's a fantastic opportunity, and another one goes begging for Sutton.
Far too much space for Simper in that area. No one picked him up.
Yeah, but
and the Bees need to be very careful. A third goal would be precious here. Idris Kanu tackled well by De Silva, his opposite number. Yeah. Here's Hartigan. Now Ryan Glover. All over on that far side, gets it back to Hartigan, and now Kanu taking on De Silva. Will he get the cross in early? He does, but it's well blocked by De Silva, and it will probably go out for the throw. No, the backspin keeps it in, and Kanu does really well to get his body weight in the way and win that cleanly. Inside to Tavares.
Ooh.
Brilliant skill from Tavares, and it's Kanu! Ooh. Just a bit more power on that, and that might have been troubling Jack Sims, but held on to it, did the Sutton United goalkeeper.
Yeah,
and Callum Stead almost won the ball back as Sutton played it around in a dangerous area. I find myself saying inside to Tavares a lot because that tends to be the tactic.
Yeah.
And Tavares showed some excellent skill to kind of flick it to Kanu, and that would have been some goal if Kanu had got that on target. Anyway, Sutton United have a chance to attack the Bees penalty area. In it goes towards Davis. Brilliant touch from Davis. Finds a yard. It's Davis. It's in! And just like that, the U's have equalised. Fantastic centre-forward play from Will Davis, who gets his 8th goal of the season. And on 68 minutes, it's Barnet 2, Sutton United 2.
It was coming, to be fair. They had the chance. Madison had a chance earlier on. And then a chance also came for Simpa, but third time lucky. Good attacking play from Sutton United. We've been saying that they've been really going for this second half. Plays it into Will Davis, and that's a fantastic first touch. Takes it away from the defender. Takes another touch, and finishes it well in the bottom corner. I did say I haven't heard much of him, but I've heard of him now, and that's a really good finish, and it's kind of a deserved equaliser. I think they played well Sutton in the second half.
You're absolutely right. The warning signs were there. Barnet have failed to heed them, and Will Davis found himself in far too much space. But he created the space for himself. That you have to sometimes hold your hands up and say that is just excellent centre-forward play.
Brilliant
and that is exactly what Callum Stead should be doing. But Stead has been doing it, but he hasn't had the finish to match.
That's the thing.
Davis has had the finish to match.
End product, and that's Davis' first chance of the game. We were saying earlier that we don't need chances to rue them. Instead, had two good opportunities. One particular, Davis, one chance, one goal.
Well, a bit of a goal fest here at the Hive. It's Barnet 2, Sutton United 2. My prediction's gone out the window.
Yep.
And this could go either way now, you feel. It's on a bit of a knife edge with 70 minutes played. Kabamba is on the pitch. Here's Callum Stead. Good work from Stead. Oh, I say that, but he has lost out to Topolai. And he just hasn't quite, since his injury, Callum Stead hasn't quite managed to recapture the sparkling form that he had earlier in the season. He is on 8 goals, but he hasn't looked confident at the moment.
Not at all. I mean, he's been in and around the game. You know, he's run the channels very well, but like we said, just that end product. And the thing is, you only start talking about end product when you're not winning the game. And when it was 2-1, you could see having a good game. But now, at 2-2, you could say missed opportunities are costing Barnet.
Sutton United have been relatively clinical. They've had a handful of chances and they've taken this one. And Barnet once again ruining the clear-cut golden opportunities to kill the game off. It should really be 3 or 4-1. But here's Mark Shelton in the middle of the park, but that's an excellent tackle from Wadham. And they win it back, but Hartigan wins that back, and it's Glover who's got Kanu over on the left. Is he onside? He is onside. He's taking on De Silva. De Silva concedes the corner, and the Bees have a corner kick on 71 minutes, and the Bees need to go again here.
Yep, for sure. Yep, got to go again. Minor setback, but it's still 2-2. Still a lot of football to be played, and now's the opportunity from a set piece. Oliver's obviously scored for header earlier on in the game, but can stop the short corners.
Yeah, can they make this one count? In it comes from Hartigan. Oh, it's just about dealt with at the front post. Aluwo was lurking once again. Here's Topolai, though, for Sutton as they try and launch a counter-attack. Oh, he's got past Glover too easily there, and he's taking on Kenlock, who manages to dig Glover out of trouble, and he's done an Aluwo! Oh, my word, I can't believe it! I can't believe what I've just seen! He's done it a little. That's exactly what happened against Rochdale. He sold Nick Hayes short, and Sutton United have edged in front here from nothing.
Wow. I mean, you got to give credit to Topolai. Best at Topolai. He's just driving forward, and it started from here when he just got the ball from Barney. He just kept on driving. Fair play, never give up. And we say that all the time, never give up chasing a loose ball. Kellogg, before he dealt with it, because he had. And he tries to play it back to Nick Hayes, sells him short. And Topolai, so it's this cheeky, neat finish. He just dinks it over Nick Hayes, who has no chance, not for his fault. And Barnet falling behind, but 2 quick-fire goals for Sutton United. And the game's turned on its head, and Barnet are 20 minutes away from suffering their first defeat at home this season.
It was I said immediately he's done an Aluwo, and that's not to say that that's all Aluwo is known for, but that was a carbon copy of the mistake that Aluwo made against Rochdale that gave Ian Henderson such a cheap goal. And Kenlock's done it again. And you just think it's incomprehensible. Just kick the ball out of play. Don't concede a cheap goal like that. It's 3-2.
But we do say at Barnet, they like to keep possession. And to be fair, it was a simple pass, to be honest. But Barnet do play like that. They play it back to Nick Hayes. And it's just one mistake from Kenlock. But at this level, you're going to get punished. And that's what's happening right now. And Barnet got a mountain to climb now, because they're going to need 2 goals, really.
2 goals needed now. Kabamba with brilliant play. Centre forward plays Hort to the floor. And the referee is surely going to book him there. It is a yellow card for the Sutton United defender. It's Hayden Muller who's been booked. Kabamba spun him really, got his body in the way, and he would have been through on goal. He was thrown to the floor, and could Barnet get a quick equaliser here? Through Mark Shelton, who's standing over the free kick. It's off centre, over to the left. And we know that Mark Shelton has quality from these sorts of positions. So does Hartigan, but he's not standing over it. It's Shelton who's very much going to take this on.
Yeah, Barnet really need this to go in now, you know. Time is ticking. There's still 50 minutes left to play, but a goal now, and those last 50 minutes are going to be really, really big. But good opportunity here for Mark Shelton.
Could Mark Shelton grab what would be a vital equaliser so shortly after that mistake? Here is Shelton straight into the wall. What a major anticlimax. And it will be Kenlock to rescue now. Can Kenlock get it straight back to Hayes? Gets a bit more power on that one. And Hayes being chased down, gets it long towards Stead, who leaps for the header.
We were talking earlier,
Shelton gets it over to Collins. Collins tries to find Stead. Brilliant ball from Collins. Can Stead get it into the middle? He's being chased down by Simper. Good hold-up play, though, from Stead. Here's Collins. Still Collins over on that near side. Back to Tavares. Now inside to Hartigan as they try the familiar horseshoe. Over to the left now with Kenlock, who made that unfortunate Aluo-esque error. And here's Kanu. Now Glover. Can the Bees find a way back into this game before it runs away from them? Glover tries an interchange with Kenlock. Doesn't quite get it right, but Kanu's got it back. Kanu gets the ball into the box, but there's no quality on that one, and Aluo uses his strength to beat Naderson, who looks like he's blowing a little bit of steam.
Yeah, he's worked hard today, man. He's got his goal, got the first goal, but he's led the line pretty well when the times when he's been there. Him and Will Davis.
Kabamba nodded on towards Stead, but Stead didn't anticipate it, and De Silva comes away with it for Sutton.
They've kept Barnet defenders occupied, but we were saying before about the chances that Barnet had at the start of the second half, and now they're really coming to rue those chances now that they're 3-2 down, and that's why we say you've got to take your chances in these games.
The Bees are finding this a tough match. They went behind, they turned it all around in the first half, and now they find themselves behind again in quite ludicrous circumstances, to be quite honest with you. But here's Kanu over on the far side. Sutton United trying their best to hold their shape, hold their system. Here's Shelton. Now Kanu. Back inside to Kenlock. Kenlock over to Stead. Goes back to Hartigan. This is patient stuff from the Bees. Still 15 minutes plus added time to go. And Barnet are not the sort of side that panic. Collins into Glover. Again being hounded by Simper. Clever ball inside to Tavares. But again, he's being closed off. The options just aren't really there. Here's Collins. Can Collins get a ball in? Tries it, and it will go out for a corner kick to the Bees on this near side. They really need to make these corners count. They've had corner after corner, but they have not found the end product.
Yeah. Aside from Oliver's header from, which was a short corner, to be fair, just haven't been a threat from set pieces. But now with Kabamba on, hopefully there's more of a presence in the box.
Glover will take this one with the outswinger in towards Stead. Who will it drop for? It's absolutely rosetted. And Kanu has the ball in his hands. Oh, and the keeper's gone down with one of those injuries again. And Steve Morrison will bring his players back in for a talking to.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what Sutton would have wanted. Just break and play out. It seemed like Barnet were coming into the ascendancy. But now another break and play, another stoppage, which only gets added on at the end. But Dean Brenner can also bring his side in, can give some instructions, but he'll be so frustrated given the goals that they could, particularly that third goal. I mean,
it's maddening. As a manager, it must be utterly maddening. As a fan, it's even worse. But well, I say that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you can't compensate. You never prepare for those sort of mistakes to happen.
But it has happened.
It has happened this season.
That exact thing happened almost in the same place. And it's like, why not just get the ball out of play? Just concede the corner, but don't do that.
Yeah, but when you're playing, listen, Barnet always play it back to the keeper. It's nothing new, but when it doesn't come off, that's what happens. But that's the risk you play. We say that it's hit with a high line. When you play a high line, you can see goals in behind. We play a one-on-one, but Barnet, they always play it back. If Kenlock had played it out for a throw-in, that would have been the safe option, but would have given away possession, and that's what Dean Brennan wants. He wants the team to keep the ball, and unfortunately it didn't work out then. But like you said, that just can't happen. That's poor from Kenlock.
Well, the Bees, as it stands, the Bees are on course for their first defeat at home since February 2024 to Chesterfield, which was last season, of course. Be such a disappointing way to lose at home, having taken the lead and done so with hard work in the first half.
But credit to Sutton, they did have the warning signs were shown.
They were. It's not like it's come from nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's Kanu over on the far side now. Kabamba instead in the box. He does get it in towards Kabamba, but it's cleared away by Simpa. Who will it fall to? Kanu doesn't get there. It's cleared away only as far as Aluwo, and the Barnet players have most of the possession once again without any penetration as Sutton United close the door and lock it firmly. Here's Kanu. Now Glover.
It's going to be a patient game, swinging it from side to side, finding one overload.
Here's Aluwo. And lest we forget, by the way, Hartlepool managed to find a way past Sutton United 4-3. In it comes! Stead couldn't quite get there. Collins, will he rescue that? Instead, it will be... Well, Aluwo helps him out. Yeah, Sutton United lost 4-3 to Hartlepool away. That was a late goal from Manny Disaruwe, which won that one several games ago. So they have history with these sorts of scorelines, do Sutton United.
They do.
Ryan Glover skills himself up there, but he carries on with the ball. Here's Hartigan. Can the Bees find a way through? 10 minutes to go plus added time, and I think there'll be a little bit of added time considering that
Jack Sims has gone down a couple of times.
Yeah, that keeper's injury.
Yeah. But this is unfamiliar territory for Barnet, conceding 3 goals at home. I mean, when was the last time that had happened?
Hartigan gets the cross in towards Stead. Who will it fall to? Nobody.
Corner kick.
But it has taken a nick off the Sutton United player. It'll be a corner kick after the deflection off Barbrook. And yet another corner. It's probably the 5 millionth corner of the game for Barnet. Sutton have defended them pretty well so far. Surely, I mean, the law of averages, one of these has got to go in. It's going to be Anthony Hartigan to take this one. It's going to be an outswinger. In it goes from Hartigan towards Glover, who rises. It's again, no one gets their head on it, and it's Kanu now who'll come away with it inside to Kenlock, back to Kanu. Everyone from Sutton inside their own half as they Alamo-style defending. Here's Kanu, gets the cross, and it's another corner as it's blocked by De Silva. We've got to start counting these corners, Brian.
Yeah, honestly, there's been so many. There were so many last week.
The percentage, I mean, one goal scored from a corner, and that was a short corner.
Yeah, short corner. I mean, Olue, like you said, we talk about a disallowed goal so much at Hartlepool.
Sutton United are making a change. It's going to be Chin Okoli to come on, and it's going to be Jack Wadham who is making way. He's had a decent game, has Jack Wadham.
Yeah, he's played well, battled really well.
Put some really excellent deliveries into the box as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Set up, I think did he set up Simpa, or was that Naderson maybe?
Naderson set up Simpa for that chance, yeah.
Still, Wadham has been a threat. And it's Chin Okoli who's coming on for the U's.
Another defender. They've realised all the corners have come in. Had a big man at that near post.
Yeah. The seconds are eating up here. 82.5 minutes played. It's yet another corner. In it goes from Hartigan. And Tavares gets his head on it. And Jack Sims falls onto the ball. And Sutton United get away with it. Yeah. At least Tavares made contact with that, but he probably should have done better.
Looked like he made a good contact with it, but I mean, there were so many bodies in there. Any contact looked like it was going to get blocked, and that's what happened. He was appealing for a handball, but I think it just came off Okoli's head and into the grateful hands of Jack Sims.
Well, at the moment, York City fans, Oldham fans, Forest Green Rovers fans will be utterly rejoicing
and
with this result
as well.
Sutton United are doing them a massive, massive favour here. The Bees have just not managed to get through. Forest Green still winning at Tamworth. Yeah, they are. Gateshead 4-2 up against Hartlepool. So the rest of the teams are doing the business, and of course York and Oldham, who will play later in the 5:30 kickoff. Still, there is time for Barnet to spring what would be a very, very dramatic turnaround. It would be a case of history repeating itself if Sutton United were to drop points from here. Here's Glover over on the far side. Can he get a cross in once again? Oh, it's a goal kick, and Glover.
Yeah, came back off Glover.
That's a major disappointment, but the corners just haven't been very effective. Well, is that Jordan Cropper?
Looks like it.
I think Dean Brennan is going for plan C. Cropper. Plan Cropper. Nick Tavares is coming off. He's not been able to shore up the defence as much as he usually does, Tavares. So often we see clean sheets or low scoring from the opposition when Tavares is on the pitch, but it hasn't happened today. You know, Barnet's best defensive line is on the pitch, and they've conceded 3 goals at home.
Yeah, I was saying, I mean, Barnet at home have really been solid defensively, but when you look at the goals Barnet conceded, we saw the goal Rochdale scored, mistake. The goal that Ipswich scored, mistake. Sutton's third goal to game, mistake. And these are not like mistakes that should happen. These are like schoolboy errors that should not happen. And
errors, and the carbon copy of the Rochdale mistake.
Yeah.
So, long ball played towards Will Davis. Aluo guards the ball for Nick Hayes. Hayes rolls it out quickly to Shelton. And still Sutton United work hard as their front three now press.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to give credit to Steve Morrison's side. You know, 2-1 down at Barnet. Most sides would maybe capitulate or give up after taking the lead, but they fought back, and, you know, you create your own luck at times. Top of that's what he did for that third goal. Kept on going, drove forward from left wing back and puts his side ahead for a famous win. Colin
Jez, of course, dropped back into the back three. Cropper has replaced him over on that right-hand side. And Cropper isn't just a long throw merchant, as we were saying. I think we were saying off air.
Yeah.
He isn't just a long throw merchant. He has a good delivery in him when the time is right. But, you know, Reece Brown scored the equalising goal very late on against Altrincham from a Cropper long throw. Several points have been picked up last season. Southend at home comes to mind when Aluo got his head on the end of a Cropper long throw. Yeah. So these long throws can win you points.
Absolutely.
Cropper tries the long ball through into Shelton. It's Kabamba. He's offside. Needless there. Shelton needed to hold his line. Good idea from Cropper to find him. It didn't quite pull it off. And there's 86 minutes gone, just 4 minutes of normal time. I think Barnet would take a point at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, time is ticking, 3-2 down. I mean, but it'll be such a disappointment, even with a point, you know, 2 home games in a row, to not win, to get 1 point from 2 home games potentially would be a really disappointment, given how strong the Bees have been at home, and has that, not sort of luck, but has that fire just run out. You call it Fortress Hive.
Bit of frustration building there as Shelton tried to take the quick free kick and was blocked from doing so by Davis. They have got it forward though, the Bees, with Carnu. Now Hartigan. This stubborn Sutton defence is holding firm. They have taken the lead and they are holding on to it. Here is Jordan Cropper. Loses out to Topolai, but wins a throw. Cropper could have found Stead with the long throw. Didn't spot him in time. He does try it, but it's a little bit late now. Has Kabamba won the throw in? He has done, and there's a chance for Jordan Cropper to get the long throw in. The corners have been ineffective. Could the long throw prove to be more of a threat with just 3 minutes left? If they were to get a goal now, the Bees, it could be a grandstand finish.
Absolutely. It's up a really interesting final few minutes. Should Barnet equalise now? But it's got to come now, that's the thing.
Here comes Cropper with the long throw. It isn't quite as long as we would have hoped. It doesn't beat the first man, and Hartigan needs to get there ahead of his man. Brilliant from Hartigan to beat Nadesan.
Oh, good tackle.
That's surely a foul. Surely a foul. I'm disagreeing with you there, Brian. That was late.
It was behind.
Poor challenge from behind from Hartigan. He had the ball.
He's not booking him, so I mean, most challenges from behind you get booked, but he seems to have let him off. I thought it was a clean tackle, just for
And a bit of silliness going on between Simper and Shelton. Simper's on a bundle on the floor.
Yeah.
Just utterly needless there from both Shelton and Simper, but Simper is clearly making a meal of this.
Yeah, just frustration from Shelton. Just, I don't know, maybe he said something, maybe just in the way, but
It's more time wasted though for the Bees if the referee isn't adding this on.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hope as a Bees fan that it should be 6 or 7 minutes added on now, because there is just a minute and a half left. Cheers from the home fans. Sutton United, they're just one of those sides, aren't they? They're a little bit dark arts, you know.
Yeah.
Feigning injury possibly.
That's exactly what you need when you're playing away at Barnet, a side that doesn't lose at home. You're going to need to have that bit of edge on your side, and it's going their way so far at the moment.
Anyway, it is going to be Hartigan who's going to launch this one long into the box from just past the halfway line as we tick closer to that 90th minute. Hartigan floats one in towards Aluwo, who rises highest. It's Cropper. Can Stead get there? He does. Stead over on this near side being chased. Can he hold it up? Topolai gets a foot in. Stead does well to win the throw, and it's Cropper. Can his second throw of the game be any more effective than his first? His first didn't beat the first man. Cropper launches it into the box towards Aluwo, tries to nod it on. Keeper thinks about coming, he doesn't. And it's Kabamba! Good save from Jack Sims. Aluwo heads it back out to Cropper. Cropper now tries to win a throw, and he does. It's a third throw in quick succession for the Bees. The second was getting closer. Can the third find a way through?
It's a good save from Sims from Kabamba, just the one.
Cropper launches one in. Aluwo runs for it. It's Aluwo! And it's come out to Shelton. Oh, it's poor. He drags it completely wide. 8 minutes of added time have been announced. 8 minutes for Barnet to find either an equaliser or something more.
Wow, I mean, 8 minutes is very generous for the Bees, and that's given the home fans a little more energy. They've got time. And Nicky Kabamba just going back to that long throw, it's causing a lot of danger. Ball bouncing about, he gets his foot on it, but Jack Sims, you've got to give credit to him. He just makes himself big, gets himself in the way, and manages to clear it away.
What are the Bees made of here? This is where we see the real character of a team. These are really difficult circumstances. Kenlock with a poor clearance straight out to Simper, though. Ball's at the wrong end of the pitch from a Bees perspective. And Simper wastes it by getting a ball straight into Nick Hayes, and the Bees fans urging their team forward for the counter-attack. Collins now over on the right. Here's Hartigan. Urgency injected into this Barnet side. Drills one, does Hartigan over to Carnu. Brilliant from Hartigan. Here's Carnu taking on French on that far side. Lays it off for Kenlock. Can they find a way through? Short pass back to Carnu. Here's Glover. Being crowded out, gets it back to Carnu. They need to move the ball a little bit quicker here. Move Sutton around. They switch it over to the other side with Collins. Collins, here's Shelton. Finds a little pocket of space just on the edge of the penalty area. Over to Cropper. Cropper gets the first time delivery. Will Carnu get there? Not quite. De Silva slices one clear. Aluwo collects, plays it back to Nick Hayes, and Bees go again.
Just decent delivery that from Cropper, but just no one in the vicinity of the box to put that in.
Carnu battling in midfield and wins a free kick. Plays it quickly to Hartigan. Over to the far side with Kenlock. Here's Stead. Stead. Collins is calling for it on the other side. He instead goes to Aluwo, who must surely play it to Collins. He does. He's got Cropper on the far side. He goes to Cropper. Cropper inside to Shelton. Shelton tries the interchange, doesn't get it right at all. And Sutton United come away with it. That's loose play. Good play from Cropper to win the ball back. Waller looks absolutely knackered. Glover lays it off. Hartigan just about gets enough on it as De Silva is closing in. And Barnet come again on that far side. Here is Idris Carnu taking on French, the captain. Can he get across it? He goes inside. Carnu, he's done really well there, has the captain French. And Aluwo is chasing the ball. Gets it back to Hayes. And once again, Barnet start. 3 of the added minutes already elapsed. Hartigan plays a long ball towards Callum Stead. That's an excellent ball, actually. Callum Stead has won it.
Brilliant.
And plays it inside, and it's Shelton! It's off the post! Oh, it's so close. It couldn't have been any closer. And the Bees have won a free kick inside the Sutton half. How close was that?
Yeah,
Such a brilliant pass from Stead inside to Shelton, who was in so much space, and just an inch closer, and it would have been in.
Yeah, and again, it's just Callum Stead chasing a loose ball. Brilliant over the top from Hartigan, plays it to Stead, he wins it, he drives in, he plays it to Shelton, he's got a lot of time, it's a good effort, he places it into the far corner and everyone is expected to hit the back of the net. It hits the post and bounces out, and that's the luck maybe that Sutton have deserved for this performance, but Barnet so close to equalising and keeping that home record intact at least.
The finest of fine margins there, and Sutton United make another substitution. It's going to be Ashley Naderson who makes way for Nana Boateng as they look to shore this lead up. What would be a huge 3 points for the U's in their quest for the playoffs. You would hope and think that the referee will add on a bit more, maybe 30 seconds or so, as Boateng enters the pitch, and it's going to be Hartigan to whip one into the box. What can he do from here? Hartigan with a great delivery. It's headed away. Will it be picked up? It will. Ryan Glover gets there ahead of his man. It's Kanu. Now Kenlock. Here's Shelton. Over to Cropper on this near side. What can Cropper do? Can he get the cross in? Cropper dinks one into the back post. It's Kabamba! Rather a Luwo who won it. And it's going to be a corner kick. Last touch came off a Sutton defender. And one of these corners, if they're going to score a corner, now's the time to do it.
For sure.
With 3 of the 8 added minutes left to go.
Yeah, and if Barnet need any inspiration, just know that Forest screen have drawn with Tamworth. So
Tamworth have nicked a point again. Well, what is it with Tamworth and nicking points at home against top sides? They did it against York. They've done it against Forest Green. But 1 goal isn't quite enough for the Bees. A point would be a disappointment. But as it stands, they're coming away from this with absolutely nothing unless they can find something extremely dramatic as we tick closer to full time.
Is it Nick Hayes' time to get in the box maybe? Might
be a bit early for that.
2 minutes to go, 2.5.
He's not going up. Anyway, Hartigan with the delivery inside, and it's scrambling around in the area. It's not cleared away. It eventually is cleared away. And once again, United get away with it. Nana Boateng chasing down Hayes. Hayes plays the short ball out to Glover as they go again with 2 minutes of the 8 left to play. Long ball played towards Kabamba. Can he nod it on? He can't quite get there. Kenlock, can he nod it on to Kanu? Oh, that's excellent play from De Silva, but he gets the ball only as far as Anthony Hartigan plays it to Kanu. Here's Kanu on the far side. Kanu whips the cross in. That's poor. Nowhere near any of the Barnet players. And the Sutton United fans celebrate that like they would a goal. Straight into the hands of Jack Sims.
Back onto that chance. It's a brilliant delivery from Hartigan. I mean, he puts it in so close to the goal line. And to Sutton's luck or to Barnet's unluckiness, it just falls to all the Sutton players on the edge of the box. And not one Barnet player is in sight. They managed to clear it. And now they just managed to waste a few more seconds off the clock. And
that Shelton chance needed to go in.
Yeah, if that goes in, you've got at least 5 minutes of real pressure. But now it seems like the wind's kind of sailed out of the Barnet Hearts. A lot of the fans are walking to the exits.
60 seconds of the added time to go. There might be a tiny bit more for the substitutions, but it is Sutton United who have a throw in the Barnet half. It's all being played in the wrong area for the Bees, who have failed to take the chances that they had. They had more than enough chances to kill this game off. They failed to take them, and that's what football does. It punishes you. Here comes Kanu, needs to play this long, does play it towards Kabamba. Can Kabamba get there on the far side? Needs to hold this up against Barbrook. He's bundled over, and he wins a free kick. Now this could be the last chance for Barnet to get anything from this game.
Surely it's Nick Hayes' time now.
Nick Hayes is not going up. He's looking over at the touchline, and he does get the signal from Brennan to get into the box. Nick Hayes is heading into the box, the goalkeeper. Could Barnet snatch a point from what is ultimately a hugely disappointing game? A point would be better than nothing, that's for certain.
Would be. At this moment in time, I mean, the 8 minutes have been played, so you think this is the last opportunity.
Hartigan.
Everyone's in the box other than Hartigan and Shelton.
Hartigan has the responsibility of getting it into the box. It is Hartigan. It's Jack Sims. It's saved. It's in. It's in. Ryan Glover has done it. They've snatched the point right at the death here. In truly dramatic circumstances.
We were saying that a good delivery in the box is needed, and that's what Anthony Hartigan does. He puts it in and causes chaos. It's pinball in the area, and Ryan Glover gets a firm contact, and he just balloons it in from close range with his left foot. Steve Morrison isn't happy that time. He thinks time is up, but there was more than enough time. Glover picks up the ball, and hopefully Barnet looking for more minutes to potentially get a winner, but that's the heart of fight that they needed.
It looks like Steve Morrison's getting a telling off from the referee.
Getting a telling off, yeah.
He wanted, I don't know what he's complaining about, perhaps a foul on the goalkeeper or something.
I think he wanted time up, to be fair, but I think from now, the ref's going to blow the whistle, and Barnet have got a snap. I mean, talk about stealing a point. That's stealing a point from Barnet's perspective.
I was told off by Halifax fans last week for saying they stole a point. This is stealing a point. They have battled till the very, very end. And surely what was the last kick of the game, they have nicked a point. Sutton don't try and... Well, Sutton have just launched it straight to Nick Hayes. And the Barnet fans are telling Hayes to just get it forward as they search for what would be the most ridiculously dramatic winner. Kenlock plays it forward to Stead. Will it drop in behind? It doesn't quite. And Sutton United come forward with it. Here's the substitute, Boateng. This is a crazy game.
Mental.
Referee blows the full-time whistle, Topolai hoofs the ball in frustration. I don't think either side will be
happy now.
Hugely happy, but Barnet will certainly be ecstatic that they have managed to nick a point at the very, very, very end. In what, I mean, it could not have been more dramatic.
Wow. We said before we wanted the Christmas cracker on Boxing Day, and that's exactly what we've been given today. 3-3 at the Hive. I mean, that must be one of the latest goals this season. 99th minute. Ryan Glover snatches a point for the Bees. You got to give them credit. Going 3-2 down, they could have, given up, but they huffed and puffed, and he kept on going even towards the 99th minute. Got the equaliser. Sutton United, I mean, they were taking a point before the game, but looking back on it, to see that late on, you're always going to be disappointed. But what a game for the neutral. What a game for the National League as an advert. Barnet have dropped points again at the Hive, but
the unbeaten record stays
continues
at the very last.
It's still intact.
Second. I think it was. I mean, it was so dramatic. I'm pretty sure it was Ryan Glover with the goal.
Yeah, I think it was Glover with the goal.
They all ran straight to Hartigan because Hartigan's delivery was simply magnificent, right under the keeper. Jack Sims couldn't hold on to it.
He literally he caught it and then he dropped it.
He dropped it, yeah. And I think perhaps Steve Morrison, who looked like he was booked in the melee at the end because the referee went over to the touchline. He must have been complaining about a foul on the keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, there didn't look to be any real problem. Jack Sims just looked to drop the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was a wicked delivery. I mean, if he would have caught that would have been good hands, but he drops it. But fair play to Ryan Glover. He's in the box. He's reacting fast. He hits it with his left foot, and he's so close. He just goes in. And you got to give credit to Barnet. They kept on going, but Sutton United, I mean, what a performance from them. So come to the High, 13th place.
Yeah.
And they gave it to Barnet. They made Barnet fight hard for that point, and that's what they've done. And their fans are rightfully clapping them off as they go back home. But it's a good point for Sutton. Great point for Barnet. What a game. What a game.
It's an absolute thriller today. Not good for the heart rate if you've got a dog in the fight. And that was a tough watch.
Wow.
Towards the end. But what an utterly thrilling end. And all things considered, that almost feels like a win for Barnet. Given how disappointing and depressing that could have finished.
Honestly, I mean,
end that is ending on a high.
Yeah.
That is ending on a high.
Yeah, I mean, they were 20 seconds away from suffering their first home defeat of the season, but they're going away from this point, buzzing to get the equaliser late at the death. But when looking back on it, they might be this heavily disappointed to concede 3 goals at home. But when you score a goal at the death like that, it's always going to feel like a win. It's going to feel like a loss to Sutton.
Yeah.
But that's a great point for them away to
You
Barnet.
almost feel sorry for Sutton in a way, apart from the fact that, I mean, if I'm being brutally honest, they're the sort of side, they took their chances, fair play. they were good on the day, but they took every opportunity to get those horrible little fouls and go down, and ultimately the keeper going down, and whether his injury was legitimate or not for me to say, but ultimately these continuous attempts to break up the game backfired with 8 minutes of added time, and Hartigan's delivery has spoiled the Sutton party. If I'm a Sutton fan, I'm gutted with that.
Oh, I mean,
I'm applauding my team, but I'm gutted with that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what team you support. You could be an absolute fan, bottom of the league. You concede a goal late on to stop you snatching. That late 99th minute goal, I mean, that's heartbreaking.
Oh, my word.
You could say it was coming, given the deliveries of Hartigan. There was one, it hit the post. Marksham did hit the post earlier on in added time, but you got it to go away. But looking back on it, it's a good point for Sutton, I mean. But to score, I mean, both sides, look at you score 3 goals, you don't win the game, you're going to be disappointed. But what a game, what a game.
Just looking at some strange Premier League results. I mean, Chelsea have lost at home to Fulham. Forest have beaten Spurs at home. You know, it just goes to show that in any league, anyone could beat anyone.
Honestly, I mean.
Thanks very much for watching on DAZN, by the way, to everyone who tuned in on Boxing Day. We hope you enjoyed it. We were utterly thrilled by that. That's going to go down in the memory for a long time. Even though it wasn't a win, it almost does feel like a win given the circumstances. So thanks to everyone who watched on DAZN via National League TV and everyone on YouTube as well. Please do stick around if you're on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We're dissecting what has been an utter thrill fest, if that's even a word, as we try and catch our breath on this. I mean, where do we even start with that? I mean, it swung here, it swung there.
Yeah.
And we're so used to seeing routine victories at the Hive. Barnet kind of blowing their opponents away, a la Ebbsfleet. And the Halifax game last week was kind of stilted and, it didn't quite set alight. But this one was an absolute goal fest.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. I mean, 3-3, it's all you can ask for as a neutral, especially commentating a game like this. You want goals, you want drama, and that's exactly what we got. But it went back and forth, Sutton took the lead, Barnet turned it around, then Sutton again took the lead, and then Barnet scored the late equaliser. It was just a thrilling game. Brilliant goals throughout the game, and you just got to think, wow. And Ryan Glover at the end getting his second goal of the day, and got to give credit to Ryan Glover. He's really played well these last couple of games, and that's what you want. Later death, a big player stepping up, and that's exactly what he did with getting that all-important goal.
Yeah, and it does mean, by the way, that the Bees do sit top of the league. It could be a crucial point in all things considered. Remember, York have got Oldham later. That could quite easily end in a draw, which would take York level on points with the Bees. Forest Green have dropped points at home. Nobody is running away with this. Probably the most pleased team today will be Gateshead.
Gateshead just keep on winning, and Gateshead have capitalised twice.
They beat Hartlepool 4-3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit of a goal fest. Not quite in the same circumstances. They were 4-2 up and conceded a late goal.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Gateshead buzzing because teams have dropped points around, and Forest Green have dropped points again. Imagine Forest Green and Barnet have both dropped points in back-to-back games now. I mean, if you're a Gateshead fan, not even a York fan, you're buzzing with that. Yeah. And it's even more tight. I mean, 2 points separating first and fourth. I mean, that's exactly what you want. Only one team can win the league, but who's going to win it? It just changes week on week, game by game, and it's amazing to see.
I'm hesitant to say what went wrong for Barnet today, because we've obviously seen, that could have so easily ended on a real sour note, and it could have been the first time that Barnet lost since February 2024. But once again, they find a way.
Yeah.
And I mean, we often hear it said that teams who do that tend to go on to achieve good things.
Yeah.
The ones that just keep going till the very, very end. They don't give up.
Absolutely.
And we've seen that here in abundance. Character and grit and determination. They just would not let this slip, and they've got away with one today. Really, from a horrendous. And it should have been a lot easier. It could have been more routine.
Yeah.
But for some kind of silly defensive mistakes, or at least one massive one.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, the second half. I mean, you've got to give credit to Sutton. As soon as the second half started, Sutton came out and they really tried to go after the game, and they got the deserved equaliser, because before that, you look at the chance they had. Naddison off the rebound really should have touched home, and then Simper had the chance where he had a lot of time, took it first time, but Will Davis got the equaliser, which was a really, really good equaliser. Brilliant centre-forward play, like we said. But that third goal for Sutton, like we said, a mistake from Ken Lock. He done well. He recovered. He recovered, does what you got to do as a defender. You got to recover. He tries to play it back, sells Nick Case short. But you got to credit to Topolai. You know, he just dinks it over Nick Case, and from then on, you're thinking, what has gone on? Barnet 3-2 down, conceding 3 goals in unfamiliar territory. But from then on, they did dominate the game, and they huffed and puffed. And to be fair, they didn't create many chances until Mark Shelton hit the post, and after that, you thought maybe it just wasn't going to be Barnet's day. They crossed the ball in Hartigan, put a weldy of a ball. It just fell to the feet of the Sutton defenders. But that last free kick, maybe Nick Hayes going forward caused that chaos. Because, you know, when the keeper comes up, you don't know who to mark, you don't know what to do.
Honestly, it was absolute carnage in that box, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Carnage. By the way, anyone who still is with us on the YouTube stream, if you're so inclined, I'm very curious to know how you reacted to that equaliser. Were you delighted? Were you running around the living room with your turkey sandwich, or were you a little bit more muted? Given the circumstances, I'm really curious to know. Obviously, yeah, as you say, I mean, things started not on the best note for the Bees. They took the lead, did Sutton United through Naderson. It was too easy to carve the Bees open, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, we talk about the Barnet high line, and that's what happens when you got a high line. It's just that one ball in behind this. That's going to cause you problems, and you got to give credit to Naderson. He goes in one-on-one. A lot of people miss that, but he has enough power, puts it into the bottom corner. Nick Hayes may be disappointed he didn't save it because he got a hand to it, but I think it was a good finish from Naderson, and that gave Sutton United the lead, a shock lead.
Yeah, and we saw an equaliser about 10 minutes later come from, Mr. Ryan Glover.
Yeah, Mr. Ryan Glover, and brilliant goal. We were right behind. You've got the perfect angle here in the gantry. Ball falls to Coker. We think it's Coker. We think it's Kennel. We don't know who it was. You pass it to Glover, but he gets it just inside the area at the left-hand channel, and he just whips it in. And we think it's taking a deflection because it loops so late, just underneath the bar. But that was what Barnet needed. And just like last week, responding quickly to going behind, getting the right response.
And it was Aluo who nudged the Bees in front from a brilliant, unstoppable header, really. One of those down into the ground, right into the corner, from an excellent delivery from Ben Coker, who was then hooked at half-time, or around that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, a brilliant delivery from Ben Coker. We know he's got that wonder of a left. He always has a certified delivery, if you want to call it that. Certified delivery from Ben Coker. And
Deliveroo.
Yeah, and Aluo just puts it, rises high. Aluo, he's a tall guy. He should really get more goals from set piece, and he rises high, puts it in, and Barnet just before half-time going 2-1 in front. The best time to take the lead, as they say. And then, like you said, Ben Coker comes off. He comes off, I think, around 60 minutes, to be fair, for Nicky Kabamba. And it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, it was 55 minutes.
Yeah, surprising change because we thought he was having a good game. But he hasn't played much recently, so maybe that's just a bit of tiredness or a planned change.
Yeah, I mean, did Kabamba make the impact that he needed to, really?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was going to say, when Kabamba comes on at 2-1, it was going to come off at 3-2. But when he came on, he, like you say, didn't really get much involved in the game. I thought that both really, Stell and Kabamba, struggled to really have a much impact on the game. But he was there. He did cause chaos. When that final corner comes in, Kabamba's going to be someone you're going to mark. And to be fair, he almost did equalise. Threw a long throw and Cropper threw it in. It fell to Kabamba's feet. He got the right contact on it.
It did feel like it was brewing, like something was sort of brewing.
And then just Jack Sims just literally hits him because it's that close, and it's a good save from the keeper, to be fair. But that's all Kabamba could really muster from his time on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Stead was without having any end product, he got himself in the right positions and carved out one or two glorious opportunities. And it just could have been, as we always say in football, it could have been so different so easily. But these are the finest of fine margins. This is what this league does. Yeah. And Barnet, who never draw matches, have drawn twice in a row now, and they're kind of making up for lost draws, really. Now, of course, Sutton United equalised through what was an excellent move, really, from Will Davis. Finished off by Will Davis, who just created the space for himself and finished superbly past Nick Hayes down to his right. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, he was on the right-hand side. I mean, the ball comes in. It's a fantastic... I mean, we watch about the first touch from Will Davis, takes it immediately away from Oluwo, which gives him that half yard of space, takes another touch to set himself, and then puts it into the bottom corner. No chance for Nick Hayes, really. So, fantastic finish. And to be fair, we said before that they had two glorious chances. Naderson from the rebound from... what's his name again? Topolai shot, and then also Jack Sims. Not Jack Sims, Lewis Simper. The goalkeeper was Lewis Simper. Lewis Simper had a glorious opportunity, so arguably the goal was deserved, but a brilliant goal from Will Davis, and that's why he's their top scorer. One chance, one goal, and they were level. They were indeed, and they were in front in quite frankly ridiculous circumstances. And you know, I suppose it's easy to criticise, I guess, but you know, it was a carbon copy of the Aluwo mistake against Rochdale. And the first thing that came to mind on commentary was he's done an Aluwo.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds, you know, in hindsight, that sounds kind of unfair to Aluwo.
Yeah, he's done it once.
But he did do an Aluwo.
Yeah,
that was exactly what happened.
Yeah, literally. I mean, you've got to give credit to Best at Topola. I mean, literally, it was just him. He was just driving down the left. He picked it up in his own half, kept on driving. I think he went past Sutton a bit too easily. And he gets into the box, and then kind of like we said, Kenlock had recovered. He'd won the ball back, and that's what you want from Miles Kenlock. And he tries to play it back to Nick Hayes, and he just sold him short, and then Nick Hayes in no man's land. And Topola, to be fair, he's a good finish.
I think that one was even shorter than the Aluwo back pass. I think the Aluwo back pass had a bit more on it. The Kenlock back pass was so weak that it was barely a kick at all.
But it's a good finish from Topola because he hasn't got a lot to do, but he still has to finish off, and he just dinks it over Nick Hayes, and there's a brilliant finish, and their bench went wild, and the fans went wild, and from then you're just thinking, is it going to be Barnet? Is this going to be the time where Barnet suffered defeat on the last home game of the year? Yeah,
and you know, I think we were even saying before the game it would have been so typical for Barnet to actually lose the unbeaten record to a side that sits mid-table and hasn't really threatened to achieve particularly that much. But they so nearly managed to come away from the Hive with 3 points, which is something that no one else has done. But, and this is a big but, Anthony Hartigan had the chance. And I think, actually, to be fair, was it Kabamba who won the foul?
Yeah, Kabamba won the foul. I think Morris might be thought it was a soft foul because he might have complained about the free kick because it was one of them where he felt contact, you're going to go down. That's what Nicky Kabamba did. And like you said, he did win the free kick.
Yeah, he won. Well, whoever it was, I'm pretty sure it was Kabamba's. With some good hold-up play, get his body in the way. He took the foul, and Hartigan... every single person was in that box. Hayes, everyone was in that box. And we don't have the benefit of the replays right now, but as I remember it, ball comes in right under Jack Sims' nose. He gets a hand to it, but he doesn't catch it. He drops it. And I think there's a kick out, which goes straight back into him. Then it comes out and it's loose in the box, and Glover just reacts quickest and pokes the ball past Sims. And it's just absolute chaos and carnage. Yeah, literally. Even before, though, obviously, Barnet had hit the post, so it wasn't like it was not coming that goal of Shelton hit the post. But like you said, when that free kick comes in, we know Anthony Hartigan's always going to put the ball on a sixpence. He's going to put in a good delivery, and that's what he did. Jack Sims, he couldn't. Look, the ball was so good, had so much pace in it. It would have been a very tough catch, and as he tries to claim it that second time, he just can't get hold of it. And fair play to Ryan Glover. When you're in the box, you've got to be alert. You've got to be aware. He shows great attacking instinct. Just pokes it at it. I think there was a couple guys on the line, but he was just so close they couldn't stop it. And it looks, for a second, I thought it hit the side netting. That's what I thought, but the crowd went up. There was a slight, like a micro delay certainly before I reacted to it anyway. But what a brilliant, dramatic moment. This is why we love football. Again, obviously it's all about winning. We want to win and we want to get the best. But moments like that is what we love about football. That high that you just cannot get. That a last-minute winner... It felt like a winner. A last-minute equaliser. You just can't really beat those sorts of goals. And again, in the circumstances, Graham here says, good point, but really should have been 3. I mean, yes, it could have been 3. It could have easily been 3 if we'd taken our chances. I'm afraid that wasn't the case. So the next best thing, as we always say, is not to lose the game. Yeah, absolutely. And they fought and battled to the very, very end. They didn't give up. They didn't lose heart. And they believed that they were going to find that equaliser. And lo and behold, they did. You know, maybe Brennan got the substitutions right there. Kabamba won the foul. Cropper with his dangerous long throws as well, he was causing havoc. Maybe got the you know, but it's a double-edged sword, really, isn't it? Because you can't help but think it should have been much more routine. Football just doesn't work like that. Absolutely. I mean, like we said, 2 home games in a row, 2 draws. I mean, if you were to predict what would have happened, most people would have thought Barnet would have got 3 home wins. After Ebbsfleet, you would have thought, okay, cool, Halifax home, that will probably be the banana skin game. Got the point. Okay, cool. Come back on Boxing Day, Sutton United at home, a team that hasn't really performed this season at all, really. Obviously, they're close to the playoff places, but they've just been so up and down, and we can see from today why they're so up and down.
But it's 2 home games on the spin. I know I always say this: home games you've got to win your home games, because away from home it's always going to be tough. And we know that Barnet have struggled sometimes. Solihull, York away from home, and you got to look back and think that they probably got to go to one of these tough grounds and grind the 3 points just to kind of get these points back. I know you can't get points back, but retrospectively.
It isn't a loss, though. It isn't a loss. And as we keep banging on about the circumstances in which Barnet equalised in the 98th minute with what was pretty much the last kick of the game, is just that in terms of morale. It's not like they were 3-0 up and let a 3-0 lead slip. That would have been really devastating. But to actually get it like that, I think is actually quite good for confidence, quite good for morale. And you know, they're close, Barnet. They're so close to being a top side. And it's just these silly defensive mistakes, these silly moments, and the lack of clinicality up front. But are we asking too much? I mean, look at Forest Green. You know, look at Forest Green. They've dropped points. Sam, just before we get to you, Brian, Sam Emmett has said on points per game we would likely be 4th, fearful that we're short compared to teams at the top. Just need some reinforcements to compete with the best. Reinforcements. I mean, are Barnet a sort of decent, a really good striker away from, you know, seeing games out and kind of just getting more points on the board?
Yes, it's a tough one to say. I mean, like you said, Nicky Kabamba's got 10 league goals. You've got Callum Thurl on 7. You've got Shelton on 6. So Barnet score goals. I mean, they won 50 goals this season. So it seems weird to think that Barnet need even more goals. But I mean, 50 goals this season is a very good return after 24 games. That's 2 goals a game. I mean, look at here, 50 goals. So it'd be tough to say they need more goal contribution. I think just their silly mistakes at the back, you could argue, but
well, you can't really concede 3 goals at home and call yourself, you certainly can't run away with the title, which is definitely not what's happening, because Barnet, York, Forest Green, Gateshead, and Oldham are well in the mix. And as we say, Gateshead will probably be the most pleased out of that. We'll be keeping a very, very close eye on the York and Oldham game later. Sure. Fingers crossed for the Bees that ends in a nice bore draw with no goals and nothing, and it's all stalemate and everything like that. But I have a horrible feeling that York are going to win that one. Yeah,
it will be a game we'll keep our eyes on, but York are in form. They're top of the league. It's a tough game for York, you know. Oldham, away at Oldham is very tough for a lot of teams. Oldham, we're looking at the game thinking, right at home, we should win the game, win this game. Barnet drop points, win this game.
Third draw of the season.
And they're 3 games in hand on Barnet. No, 6 points behind. So if they win all those games in hand, they'll be top of the league. Well, not top of the league, above Barnet by 3 points.
Well, but then again, as we always say, games in hand. We'd rather have the points on the board than games in hand, I suppose.
That's very true. Games in hand,
psychologically. But I mean, the thing about York is that, you know, I could see them winning later. Because they've just got that ability to bring on game-changing players. I really do wonder if Reece Brown was available today, whether that might have been a different scoreline. Because, I mean, the chances, for example, that Stead had, they fall to Reece Brown, I think they're nestling in the bottom corner. Yeah,
I mean, the header from Callum Stead, I mean, that's the one, the big one.
The Bees go 3-1 up. There's no reason to say that they couldn't have ended 3-0.
Yeah, true.
But psychologically, you know.
Yeah, we were saying it. Barnet need that 3rd goal because 2-1, you know. And Sutton was showing dangers from even before that. So it was like, get the 3rd goal. Not that it will kill the game, but it gives you that cushion. And that's what Barnet needed, because the game quickly turned on its head, as we saw. It went quickly to 3-2. So I think off the bench, I mean, you could argue this hasn't worked, you know. Like you said, Kabamba won the free kick. You know, Cropper's long throws caused an issue. But it's tough because you scored 50 league goals. It's just at the back. I look at the goals conceded. I think Barnet conceded 9 more goals than York, conceded 10 more goals than Forest Green. Oldham conceded 10 more goals than them. Obviously, Gateshead have conceded 31 goals. But
they conceded 3 today, but they still got the win.
But Gateshead are just in hot form at the moment, where they're just scoring like 4s and 5s at the moment, to be fair. They actually still got the win. So I think sustainability-wise, Barnet can't keep on conceding 2s and 3s. They've got to ush up that defence. But the defence has been good. It's weird. You think Aluho, Tavares, and they've all been good this season, but the goals just somehow find their way into the back of the net, whether it's through mistake. I think if you look at the mistakes Barnet made this season, you probably look at them thinking they've probably made one of the most mistakes this season.
But so you say mistakes, and Sam sort of followed up on his comment by saying quality at the top is scarily good. Would argue mistakes are a function of the system we play as opposed to the individuals we have. The mistakes are a trade-off for how much we create going forward. I think that's an interesting point, because obviously we keep, as the cliche goes, you can't legislate for individual errors. Individual errors will always be part of the game.
Absolutely.
That's just how it is. But the way we play with this high risk, high reward system, that when you dominate possession, they win the ball back quickly, and the trade off there is these balls in behind, and the one-on-one defending. I don't think, obviously, Aluo made that mistake against Rochdale, but he wouldn't have made that mistake again. But that was Kenlock who was guilty this time, and it's like, do you trust Kenlock one-on-one?
One-on-one. Yeah, I think he's not as quick as Oliver, obviously, but he has got the pace. He recovered. That's the funny thing. He actually recovered initially, but the pass back was poor. But that's just how Dean Brennan plays. It's keeping possession. It's playing out from the back, and when you play out from the back, you are liable to those sort of areas. If you just don't pass back with enough purchase on it, that's what can happen, and that's exactly what happened today. That's what happened to Aluo, and that's what happened in the game against Ebbsfleet as well. I mean, I don't think I was a pass back. I think I was just poor from Nick Case, to be fair, but. That's what can happen when you want to play out from the back. Mistakes are inevitable to happen. It happens to the best teams and happens to Barnet more often than not. But like you said, going forward to score 50 league goals this season, I mean, that's the trade-off. You score enough goals, you're going to win games. And goals win games at the end of the day. But defenses win titles. And that's what Barnet are going for.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, defensively, it just hasn't quite been. It's not quite been there. It's not quite been there. But, look, we'll end on a positive note. We'll end on an optimistic note.
Yeah.
They haven't lost.
Yep.
They've preserved the unbeaten record in utterly ludicrously dramatic circumstances. Yeah. If they'd have gone on to win it, I might have just had a bloody.
Yeah. The stream would have been.
But they didn't go on to win it. But they got what is just as crucial a point as it could be. They are top of the league. We've still got York and Oldham to play. That could end a draw. It's all getting scarily tight at the top, as Sam says. So. You just don't know. It's going to be one of those seasons. It's going to go down to the wire. We really need to strap ourselves in for this one.
Yeah, I think it will. And there's just so many teams around. I mean, there's potentially 5 teams in and around that on 47, 48, 49 points. Forest Green is still, I know they dropped points there, but he's still got that extra game. So, I mean, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to go down to the wire. But like you said, didn't lose, kept that home unbeaten streak intact, and that's very important, because you keep the home form intact, you're always going to get points on the board. But you've got to turn these draws into wins, man. If Barnet were to draw every single home game for the rest of the season, that would be a massive disappointment. But it would be unbeaten at home.
So, exactly. We'd get relegated.
So you've got to get.
He's probably safe at this point, considering Ebbsfleet are on 9 points. Yeah. Actually, just before we go, man of the match for you today.
Man of the match. Ooh, it's a tough one. I thought, it was 20 seconds away from going to a Sutton United player, but I thought...
Which Sutton United player were you thinking?
I would have picked... I thought top player was brilliant. I thought he was really, really good that second half. I thought he well deserved his goal. I thought he was always a threat down the left-hand side. I thought he should have got forward more. That's my only criticism for him. I thought he was really good.
Will Davis, I thought, had an excellent game as well. He was a nightmare for the Bees' defence, and he's shown why he scored so many goals. That's his 8th of the season.
Yeah.
And I think I said on comms earlier, like if you have a player like that in your ranks, I'd love a Will Davis. Just another option in that attack.
Really great option. But I think
the way he carved that chance out was fantastic.
It was fantastic feat. I mean, he just wasn't in the game that much, but when he got his opportunity, he took it, and that's what you need. But very good player. Very good player.
Yeah. So for the Bees, man of the match.
Yeah, I mean. Not much. I think there's only one option here. Ryan Glover. He scored 2 goals. Scored a fantastic goal in the first half. Scored an even more important goal in the second half. And I think he was just a menace all game. Always a threat. And I mean, that goal at the end, that's just worth man of the match alone, to be honest. Given how important and crucial it was. So.
I'm going to have to agree with you there, mate. I don't have an alternative to offer. I thought Ben Coker had a brilliant game actually in the first half before he was hooked, and I think he was if he'd have stayed on the pitch, who knows? But it didn't quite work out that way. But Glover gets our Hive Live man of the match award. Let's leave it there, Brian. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you here today on Boxing Day to witness what was a really thrilling game. Shame it wasn't all 3 points, but it is still 1 point, and in just brilliant circumstances, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
All things considered.
Yeah, good to be on you as well, Rory. Really enjoyed today, and Happy New Year to all the Bees fans and everyone.
Oh, yes, of course. Happy New Year. Yeah, let's hope that 2025 can bring a title-winning year.
Nice.
There's something about the year ending in 5. 2015 it happened, 2005 it happened. Can it happen in 2025? It's written in the stars. Come on.
Keep this tradition going.
Come on. Right, thanks again, everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful festive period, what remains of it, and a very, very happy new year. Thanks very much for joining us. I've been Rory Edwards.